coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho High School sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Good morning, everybody. This is an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Treasure Valley Game Night, or I should say Treasure Valley Game Morning, live from Donna Larson Park as Timberline and Boise are set to do battle here in the first game, week 0 we call it. The Wolves will kick it off, and we are underway here from Donna Larson. Short kick taken around the 20-yard line. Taken up across the 25, and that is where the Brave will take over on this young season. Boise coming into this year on a win streak, so to say. They ended their season on a win last year against Hawaii. Timberline looking to get back on track here as this is the opening game of the season. We had Bora and Capital play here last night, so this is the second Boise School District game of the season. The Brave will take over. This is always the fun part of the first game of the year, seeing who is in at what position. Boise in the black jerseys, black pants, black helmets, and red numerals. Handoff goes up the middle. Nice run up to the 44-yard line. Ball carrier that time for Boise, number 7, Jack Klein. Good run there on first down.
Yeah, hey, Logan Ryan here, jumping in as your color commentator. Boise's running the typical spread offense and trying to just put a hat on hat and create some space for the running back in the backfield.
Looks like Boise's quarterback, number 8, Cooper Smith, the 5'10" junior. Jet sweep this time. Timberline all over it. Nice tackle. Number 27 with the wrap-up. Lance Higgins gave Caleb Allen nowhere to run for the Brave.
Yeah, good spread, good defense on that one. Good lateral movement. And, you know, Timberline looks pretty big, pretty solid up front, but they look athletic. So we'll see how that matches up with this young offensive line from Boise as the game goes on.
Timberline in the white jerseys, white pants, white helmets. Boise currently moving from left to right as you hear it. Like you mentioned, the line for Boise versus the line for Timberline, you can definitely tell a difference down there. A little bit smaller on the side of the Brave. We'll see how they stack up here. Third down and about 3 yards to go. Shotgun formation. Allen comes across from the left side. Keeper, but they do have a flag down on the field. Looks like it'll be a false start against the Brave. So we're going to bump this one back 5 yards. It'll make it a very different play call here on 3rd and about 8.
Yeah, if you're the coach, you look at that and say, hey, we had our play. We have a 3-yard play in the bag. Now you have to change it up and maybe have to push the ball downfield, and now we're going to get a chance to see what the quarterback can do with his arm.
Yeah, you would expect this one to come through the air. You never know what to expect opening week, though. We'll see what happens here as Smith is in the shotgun. Has one back to his right. 2 receivers on either side. Smith flushed left. Can he get out? No, he can't. Number 25, that's Rowan Ricks with the tackle in the backfield. So Smith is sacked on 4th down, and Boise is 3 and out and will be forced to punt.
Yeah, what you couldn't see was the pressure that Timberline brought. They had more people coming. They brought 5 people, almost 6 people on that. They had a spy on it and were able to get to him in the backfield. He just couldn't escape. If he would have got past him, he had a bunch of green grass ahead of him.
Tried to roll left, but just nothing there. Boise will boot it away. Line drive kick right to the returner. Lots of room to run on the left side. He'll be tripped up by himself. That was number 88 on the return, Heath Reese.
Yeah, Turf Monster tackled him. Lost his footing there, but he had a little bit of space in front of him. Now we're going to see this young Timberline offense, and it'll be interesting with new quarterback play, new backs in the backfield, how they match up. But hey, you mentioned it before, Logan. Look at the offensive line. Look at the size advantage Timberline has versus this Boise defense. Boise's going to have to confuse them a bit with different looks on defense and bringing people from different angles.
Yeah, much bigger line there for Timberline. So here's the first offensive play for the Wolves. It's a run up the left side. And similar to Boise, success on first down, a pickup of about 7. Ball carrier that time, Caden Jones. Quarterback in for Timberline is Ronnie Dahlberg, the 5'11" junior. He'll line up in the shotgun here on 2nd and 4.
Yeah, they're going pace, no huddles. And then they get the play from the sidelines as they call it in, reading the defense.
Dahlberg has a receiver to his left. He'll hand it off, or running back, excuse me, but wrapped up in the backfield. Nice job just getting the hands around the ankles of the running back. Kellen Brown had nowhere to go for Timberline.
Yeah, it looked like that was Duncan Thompson. He got good penetration upfield. And if you're going to stop any lateral type play, you have to get penetration and turn everything back upfield, and that's exactly what they did with the Boise defense.
So 3rd and long, very similar drives for both teams to start the season. 3rd and about 9. Shotgun again. Dahlberg, he'll roll to his left. He's got a lot of green space in front of him. Can he get past the first defender? He does, and he'll scamper out of bounds around the 42, so that'll be a first down for Timberline on the quarterback keep.
Hey, move the chains however it needs to be done, and that almost looked a little bit like a design keeper. Typically what happens is they have one read, if not, tuck it and run, and it looks like the man was covered downfield, and he held it and was able to pick up the first down.
8:11 to go here in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us for Treasure Valley Game Morning, presented by Mountain West Bank here on Idaho Sports. Another handoff up the left side this time. Boise all over it. Only a short game that time. The ball carrier Dane Slavin.
Yeah, and Dane darn near dropped that thing. It was coming in. The quarterback put it in his breadbasket, and he bobbled it heading to the line. It's a good thing he tucked that thing in, because once you get popped and you're bobbling it, that ball would have been free.
Slavin, not only a great athlete, a great student. It's on the IHSAA, 3.75 cumulative unweighted GPA or higher. So smart kid there, and he'll take another handoff right up the middle. Gets hit hard after a gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd and 5, and a late flag coming in from the back judge.
Here's some unsportsmanlike conduct, some extracurricular, as they say out there on the outside. Looks like one of the receivers got tangled up with the defensive back, but it was in the Timberline backfield, which is odd.
Yeah, waiting to see what the call is. The flag came again from the back side of the play.
Yeah, on that run, I mean, that was just old-fashioned football, old school. All right, they're waving the flag off.
So no penalty. 7:20 to go. So it'll be 3rd and 5. I was waiting for them they had moved the line marker a little early. So 3rd and about 4 here. Dahlberg, nobody back there. 2 receivers down low, 3 up top. He's going to do a quick pass deep, not able to connect with his receiver on the left side, Tanner Bishop. Bishop was guarded closely by Luke Britt, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Boise played 5 coverage, right? They played every man-to-man, no over-the-top help, and the corner stuck with his man. I mean, he didn't even give him an inch. That ball there was literally nowhere to throw the ball. So well played on the Boise side of the ball. I think they feel like they can match up with the receivers on the outside, so they're kind of sticking to this man coverage so far.
And I think Bishop, he's got the height, and they might be able to go back to that. So Timberline going to go for it on 4th down, rolling right, and they hit Bishop across the middle. He drops the ball. If it'll stay in, Boise could get it. Did they get possession?
That was close.
They did. The official says the ball was bouncing out of bounds around the 15-yard line and sliding in at the last second.
What a great play by the defender. As Bishop was coming across the field, he was running, and the defender swiped with his top hand, batted the ball out, and then the awareness of the other player, the other Boise player, to jump on that. Who was it? Who recovered that?
I'm trying to get the numbers they're blending together for Boise. Timberline's white jerseys with blue numbers, they pop. Boise's red kind of blends in with the red. It's hard to get a clear, but like you mentioned, great recovery, came up about 5 or 6 yards and just dove before that ball rolled out of bounds. So the first turnover of the season goes to Timberline. The Brave will take over deep in their own zone, but they'll take that instead of a Timberline scoring chance. So 1st and 10 for the Brave at the 17-yard line. Rolling left on the option. A lot of room to run over here. Will be brought down after a gain of about 3 across the 20 that time. Jack Klein on the run.
Yeah, those type of plays are fun because he runs about 23 yards to 23 yards to gain 3 yards on that one. But that being said, positive yardage, actually about 4, picked up about 4. Positive yardage and a lot of misdirection. When you have a bigger defensive line, you have to get them a lot of the times with some misdirection.
6:19 to go. No score here. Shotgun formation this time for Boise. Smith claps for the ball. Smith in this shotgun. He'll throw a short little screen pass on the outside to Nilsson. Nilsson, he's up close to the first down marker. Might be about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, you know, the thing that's sticking out to me right now is there's been good tackling across on both sides of the ball right now. Is that a flag? Looks like there's a flag on the field.
It is around the point of contact on the tackle. Typically see maybe a face mask or horse collar in that area. I didn't see it with my eyes during.
It looks like it was a holding call. Probably an offensive lineman or a receiver. Most likely a receiver downfield trying to create a block and the defender trying to get around him. So it looks like it was a holding on Boise.
So they'll replay the down. The flag was thrown right at the 25-yard line, so it'll back up to the 15.
But
so go ahead, Ryan.
I apologize. You know, Logan, I like the play call, though. Early on, you got to back off the pass rush a little bit. So what do? You throw a screen and make them commit to at least monitoring that. You can't just pin your ears back and go for it. But now with 2nd and long, you know, a screen might not be a bad option on this play too.
Smith in the shotgun again. And there's the flag. I was going to say there was a little movement by the receiver. It looked like number 88, Jordan McDonald, got a little excited on that one and moved early. And he must have liked what he saw because it looked like he had a pocket around the 30-yard line where he was going to be open. And he was heading to that. Just got to wait till the ball snapped, though, there, buddy.
Yeah, Timberline sitting in that zone, backing a couple guys off to the safety. A couple safeties were back, and there's a spot right in front of him. He settled. He was going to settle, like you said, right in that 30-yard line, which would have been around the first down yardage.
So we'll back it up one more time, make it 2nd and 17 from the 10. 5:15 to go here in the first quarter. Again, thanks for joining us. Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. Glad to have football back, and some of the smoke moved out that we've had for the last couple days. It's a nice day here in downtown Boise. Smith will keep it running left. It stays still on his feet, fighting through defenders, and he's finally wrapped up. Like you mentioned, Ryan, great tackling right there. Timberline not letting go, finally wrapped up and brought down by Bobby Lee.
Yeah, that was a busted play. You can see the quarterback getting on his team. He had motion man coming the wrong way. The running back went the wrong direction for the handoff. Then he's peeled out and turned around. It was a broken play, miscommunication, and the quarterback did all he could to salvage super negative yardage.
So it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Brave. Second time in 3rd and long. Still no first downs yet for the Brave. Timberline had a couple on that last drive, but then fumbled it. This formation, 1 receiver up top, 3 down below, 1 back to his right. Smith claps for the ball. Smith in this shotgun. He'll do another screen, and that is very lucky to have not been intercepted. It was caught by Klein, but he had a defender all over his back.
Wow.
Jacob Schobel. If he's there half a second earlier, he's probably dancing in the end zone right now. And Klein did a great job. I mean, it's going to go down in the books as I don't think he get maybe a 2-yard gain, but he definitely saved a turnover by holding on to that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. He spied him. And that's what you do as a defense. If they're starting to throw those screens, you put a spy on the back.
Good punt right here for the Brave. It'll be taken at the 48. Up the right side, and I'm surprised we're not getting in the Boise back is looking for it for the blindside block. Can't block towards your goal line you're defending, and I thought that's what I saw there, but they won't call it. So Timberline will take over in good field position, very close to where they were at when they threw the pass that ended up being fumbled, and they'll take over 1st and 10 around the 42.
Yeah, that block was a little suspect.
Yeah, I was.
I saw that. It was just, I guess, enough angle, not towards the goalpost.
I guess maybe he was going towards the sideline, they'll say, but it was close. It was close. So the Wolves take over. Rolling right. Passing deep, and that one is almost intercepted. Luke Britt had 2 hands on it for Boise and just cannot come down with the pick. As over on the left side, Dahlberg had all the time in the world to throw it, but threw into double coverage and almost got intercepted.
Yeah, he put a little too much loft on it. He didn't step into his throw. I've seen the kid throw at some of the 7-on-7 camps, and he has a pretty good arm. He just vastly underthrew that ball. He needed to step up more into it, and he had tons of time. There wasn't any pressure on it.
Yeah, he had all day back there in the backfield. No push from the Boise line. 2nd and 10. Handoff up the right side, and nice tackle by number 35 that time. That's Hilaire Hoto with the tackle for Boise.
Yeah, good penetration. Stayed home on that defensive end. And as the back came down, he just made a step inside, was able to make the tackle.
Ball carrier that time was Kellen Brown. So Timberline using a couple of different backs here in this game. This time Dahlberg, he'll keep it. Back to pass all day across the middle. Finds his receiver again. That's Tanner Bishop. Bishop hangs on to it, but only picks up about 4 yards.
See, that's what I don't understand. If you're the tight end, you're the receiver on that, you've got to go as deep as the sticks to get the first down. And so he cut his route short by, 4 yards? Now, unless you have 2 plays and you're expecting 2 plays to get the first down, but typically that route needs to be run a little bit deeper.
It's a great second down play to pick up 4 or 5, but not on 3rd and 8 when you need 8.5 for the first down. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Dahlberg in the shotgun. Everybody up top for Timberline as he rolls right, looking for somebody, and the defense swarms, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Brought down by Carson Nilsson for the Brave in the backfield, and that will give the ball back over on downs.
He had a man underneath, but he would have had to throw back across his body. And at the high school level, very, very few quarterbacks can make that throw coming back across your body. So, I mean, you took the gamble, right? You didn't run the route deep enough, and you took the gamble, and you turned the ball over on downs. But you have to expect that. You want to get the first down, but now you have to step up and play a little bit of defense here.
So Boise will take over at the 43. That time, Dahlberg rolled right, and everybody else went right, and Boise read it like a book, was all over it, and they'll get possession back. Smith in the shotgun, 2 backs on either side. Handoff dancing around up the middle is Allen, and Allen picks up maybe 2 yards on that one.
You know, I get the feeling that Boise's going to is continuing to try to discover who they are offensively, where they're going to be able to get the yards and get the production. So they're experimenting with some misdirection. They really haven't pushed the ball downfield either. But I get the feeling that they're still continuing to try to discover that identity.
And, you know, that's what these first games are all about. You see players shuffling around trying to figure out, all right, in a real game, how does this line up and not at practice? Smith, nobody behind him, goes across the middle. Defender is bang, bang right there at the right time was Ben Schulte.
Yeah, Schulte did a good job. He stuck his arm through, right, and he avoided any kind of contact prematurely, and he hit the receiver when the ball came. But Schulte stuck his arm through, and I think that's what prevented him from getting, illegal contact. That being said, I think it was within the 3-yard marker of the ball, so he probably wouldn't have had an illegal contact.
Yeah, that pass was only 2 yards downfield. Wasn't that long of a pass. It's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Smith, another screen, but Timberline all over it. They have done that play 3 or 4 times. Just a short screen in the middle of the field looking for Klein. 2 different Wolves just sat and knew it was coming.
Yeah, you've got to be able to set that up, and again, trying to discover what works for them. Obviously, they're not seeing anything right now downfield, but in order for a screen to work, you have to be able to push the ball, at least to make an attempt downfield. But, hey, look, Boise looks like they're discovering themselves, their identity, and I think that they're going to be able to maybe move the ball downfield.
You said if you can't throw it deep, the defense is just going to say, I don't think you can. And really, they haven't shown that ability, so Timberline just staying in the middle. This punt was dropped, and he gets it away. Great punt, which could have been blocked. It'll be fielded at the 9. Rolls to the left. finally brought down around the 17-yard line, so an 8-yard return for the Wolves, and they'll set up deep in their own zone. Worst field position of the day. So Boise, if they haven't put together any long drives, but at least they flipped the field. They've got Timberline, back inside their own 20, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. We're going to take a quick break with them and be right back here on Treasure Valley Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
And welcome back here as the PA announcer talks over some scores from last night. It was a great night of football here in the Treasure Valley. A couple of big games. You saw Owyhee with a big win against Madison. So the Owyhee team that really struggled last year already coming up and defeating a great Madison squad. Madison, good team last year. They beat Rigby, the only team to do it last season. You saw Capital fall here to Bora 21-0. We'll talk more about some other games around the valley. As it's 1st and 10, we flip sides of the field, so Timberline now will move from left to right. Deep pass by Dahlberg across the middle, and he threw into, you got to get that one a little bit higher. If he can get it over the 3 defenders, tell you, Tanner Bishop had the space in front of him.
Yeah, he had to lead him more. Like you said, put a little bit more air under the ball, but he did throw into triple coverage on that. There were only 2 men in that route. He had 2 reads. Was my closest guy open or was my deep guy open? And both guys were bracketed by defenders.
Bishop, he had gotten past everybody, but the throw was short, almost intercepted. So it'll be 2nd and 10, 11:55 to go till halftime. Well, misdirection, and it does not fool Boise. Wrapped up in the backfield. He's going to lose about 5 yards. They did a little reverse action there. Handoff went around to the right side, and he popped it back coming to the other. And the Brave were not fooled.
Yeah, it was that little shovel pass Patrick Mahomes does, right? He steps forward and just kind of pushes it towards. So if the guy drops it, it's an incomplete pass because it's technically a forward pass. But that being said, I mean, see, we're seeing a battle of defenses at this point. And typically at the beginning of the year, defenses win. You know, offenses aren't clicking as much, and it's on full display here today.
3rd and 16. Dahlberg will go to the air. He's under pressure right now, having to roll right, and he's just going to chuck it out of bounds.
Smart play. Very smart play. Threw it as an incompletion.
He's out of the box. He was about to go out of bounds and kind of just throws it forward. The pass only traveled about 2 yards, but it got across the line of scrimmage, went out of bounds. So it'll be 4th down. So Boise holds. Again, the defense doing its job, even though to the naked eye, they look a little outmatched, but they have not seemed that way so far in this one.
Well, big question is Timberline not executing, or is Boise really stepping up? And at this point, I'm going to give it to Boise. I feel like they're stepping up.
So Timberline will punt it away from their own end zone. Ooh, that's a high snap and a terrible punt off the side of the foot. It's not going to make it to midfield. It hits around the 25 and goes backwards, and it's going to die around the 21-yard line. So phenomenal field position for the Brave on that shanked punt.
Boy, you said it best. Boise has flipped the field. Now they need to execute. They need to come up with something to move the ball. They don't even need to have a big hitter. They only have to go 22 yards to get in the end zone. So whatever you have, 4 or 5 yard plays, that's all we're looking for.
You know what? Just do your thing. Don't make mistakes. And that's what Boise's done. And all of a sudden, they are knocking on the door of the red zone. The Brave in great field position. No first downs to their name, but they're knocking on the door. 1st and 10. Smith will roll to his right. A lot of pressure. He's under some heat. He gets away from the defenders and picks up about 6 yards. There was a whole host of white jerseys hounding him, and he just had the speed to get away enough and a good pickup on first down.
Yeah, he's pretty elusive, pretty quick feet out there. He beat the man to the edge, and like we said before at the beginning of the broadcast, Timberline's defensive line looks athletic. They just look at him and they look athletic, but he was able to get around that and the outside linebacker to pick up, 5 yards on that play.
So 2nd and 5, 10:50 to go. Inside the red zone, this is the first red zone snap for either team. Timberline got in the red zone but fumbled as they entered it. So Smith in the shotgun, one receiver behind him. They'll run it to the left side and close to that first down marker. I think they're across. We'll see where the spot is and what they say.
Just short. But that was good football. They ran vertical, north-south. The running back made one cut and went with it and picked up that good 4 yards. And it feels like that's what Boise's going to have to do at this point. Because I don't know if they're going to beat him, physically athletically man-to-man. But physically, they might be able to get some quick hitters up the middle.
You don't need 15 yards per play. You just need 3.5 yards per play, and you'll pick up first downs as they go. So 3rd and 1, a very manageable position for the Brave. They'll hand it off on the left side, and I think they've got it. They're across the 10 down to the 9. So 1st and goal for Boise. Now, you mentioned it. It's tough the first game of the year. You're going off of what happened last year or what you've seen or what you think. We don't know. And I look back. I did the Middleton Rocky Mountain game last year. A lot of people think Rocky Mountain very good. A lot of people say Middleton, first year in 5A. Very defensive game. Was that Rocky Mountain playing to Middleton? Was it Middleton playing as good as Rocky? We just don't know until we get deeper into the season, and we will see how these teams match up with other teams. Very hard after the first game. Smith's going to go to the end zone. He's got a man at the 2.
Got it.
Did he get in?
Touchdown.
He did. Touchdown, Boise. So into the end zone, Caleb Allen on a 9-yard pass, and the Brave take the lead.
And that was absolutely uncalled for. In high school sports, you can't celebrate like that. They just got themselves a 15-yard penalty because they spun the ball, acted like it was a campfire. You know what? Good on them for creativity. How's that?
Here's the thing, Ryan, with this. They see it every week on Sunday in the NFL. You see it. And they just want to – I don't know. I don't see the big deal with it because you see the professionals do it. And if you want to – right? Hey, technically they're being professional. I know. That's probably a bad take. But that is what they see in the pros.
Well, and I don't have a problem with it either, right? Keep football fun. The problem that they're trying to avoid is really pushing it in somebody's face. I don't think they are.
Right.
It was a campfire, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, going back to the play, though, the thing that I have noticed is both of these teams are now starting to utilize more formations, different formations. Prior to that touchdown, they had a tight end. They actually had 2 tight ends. They had a wing back and a tight end. And then they only had 2 receivers out there. And then that play, they were able to spread it out again. So as football evolves, you're going to see these teams needing to take on more formations, different personnel to vary it up.
Extra point, the penalty will be tacked on to the kickoff. The kick is blocked, and it'll die in the end zone. No good, so that'll keep it 6-0 in favor of the Brave.
Yeah, that was less of a block and more of he kicked it in the backside of a guy. But that being said, I was at the Meridian Eagle game last night. You want to talk about a matchup of heavyweights? Meridian wasn't even ranked in the top 5, and they were my sleeper. They went to the semifinals. They played Rigby, and in, 3 overtimes last year, they lost by 1 point. That was a state championship game. Meridian was on a hot streak at the end of the game. So the question was, how was that going to carry over to this season? And some of the things I saw, they bullied Eagle. Eagle didn't stand a chance. They weren't even close to them. You look at a team like that, like Meridian, who's going to stay hot. They have a lot of returning personnel, a lot of the youth, but they built the program from the bottom up. Eagle reloads. And Eagle's one of those teams that you say, hey, what are they going to do this year? Who do they have? They have great athletes. But then you start coming over to these teams, and the turnout for Boise, the turnout for Timberline is a lot higher than seasons past. And that's how you start building your programs from the ground up. It starts with the freshmen, you get the JV program involved, and then they start playing at the varsity level. And you can see that. It's paying dividends. I mean, Boise has definitely had a resurgence. They're able to score the first points. And I'm impressed what they're doing with the program to this point.
And you see this with a lot of, I look at smaller towns like a Parma. Parma really struggled to get numbers this year to show up. They had to put out a release saying, hey, we need people to show up. And that just comes, years and years of unsuccessful playing. You've got to build that up and give the younger generation something to look forward to, and that's what you see here at Boise. Something to look forward to, something to want to play for. The kickoff is dropped, and it's going to be recovered at the 35 by Timberline. The receiver came up to get it, and it just popped out of his hands, and it bounced around for a minute. Timberline very lucky that big number 89, Lucas Midget, was able to come in and fall on it and keep the possession for the Wolves.
Yeah, that was a perfectly placed kick. Now, did he mean to do it? I don't know, but it was absolutely perfect. You have a guy coming up. It's a sky ball in the middle of the morning, and if they don't recover it, if it hits the ground, it's fair play. So great kick.
And that is something that I've seen more in the last couple of years, players kicking that short little kick and hoping that it just kind of dies and someone able to get it. Timberline first play up the left side of the field, and Brown picks up about 3 yards on that one. But like I saw Bishop Kelly do it to Middleton 2 years ago. They just kicked it to no man's land right there around the 35, and nobody picked it up. They had a runner go down and just scoop up the ball on a de facto onside kick. So, yeah, like you said, whether he intended it or not, who knows, but it was effective. 2nd and 7, 8:45 to go here. Dahlberg rolls left, passes to the outside, and nowhere to run. It's going to be a loss of 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Boy, look at Boise. They're rallying. They're really getting hats on balls and on players, hats on hats, and they're tackling really well. I'm impressed with this team. That's good coaching. When you have good tackling, that's good coaching. That's what you do in practice. And on top of that, schematically, it looks like they were able to scout Timberline pretty well. They seem to know where Timberline's going to be. If you're Timberline, the opposite. Just stick to what you know and try to execute at a high level.
3rd and 9. Dahlberg in the shotgun. He takes a snap. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to be sacked. He loses the ball, and Boise falls on it at the 20-yard line. So the Brave come up with another huge defensive play. That one is going to be recovered by Hilaire Hoto in the backfield. Just like that, Boise in the red zone again. So 2 mistakes by Timberline. They now have 2 turnovers and a shanked punt. And that has led to where we're at now, 6-0, and the Brave with a great opportunity to add to that lead.
Wow, and talk about penetration. They just went upfield, and the Dahlberg just didn't have anywhere to go with that. He was looking to get rid of it. In fact, he had it in the out hand. It looked like he was trying to get rid of it, but good pressure by Boise. And that was just pure pressure. That was a 4-man rush, getting pressure on Dahlberg. No blitz involved.
1st and 10, ball on the 20. So Smith will come back out in the shotgun. Every snap been under shotgun for both of the teams. That snap rolls on the ground. Smith going to have to roll left. Smith still on his feet, though. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so I happen to know the Smith kid, and he's a baller. You look at the way he plays. He plays with his head up the whole time. He's scanning the field, and he's surveying the field, looking for anything, and he does a good job. He moves laterally really well. He's a lot faster than Tom Brady, but they say that about Tom Brady. He's not going to beat you in a foot race, ever. But he shifts and moves in the pocket really well, and Smith is doing a good job of that, avoiding the rush as the rush is coming upfield and making something out of nothing. He lost 2 inches on that, but it could have been devastating with a sack.
And on that play, too, he showed his ability to step up in the pocket as it collapsed and then dance around afterwards. So 2nd and 10. Smith looks to pass deep, goes towards the end zone, and a nice adjustment on the ball. It's going to be caught in the end zone for another touchdown. That one brought in by number 12, Joseph Curtis, on the 20-yard pitch and catch from Smith.
Wow, Curtis just ripped it out. He went over the top of that. He beat the man out for the ball. He beat his defender. He ripped it over the top, was able to take it away from him. Fantastic play. From the beginning, the ball was a little short, but that's what you throw on the back shoulder pass, and he won it. That's a jump ball, and he won.
Great adjustment. He knew where the ball was going to go. He turned around. Great play. On that one, he knew where it was coming. As he turned, he was able to go up, make the adjustment over the defender, pull it in, and just like that, the Brave 12-0 with the extra point to come. It looks like kicking it is going to be Blake Tomac. And that one is up, and it is good.
Boy, if you're Boise, you got to be energized. You got to be pumped about the start to this game. I mean, there looks like maybe there was a false start. Looks like they're going to have to kick it again. But still, you got to be thrilled if you're Boise. Things are going your way. The ball's bouncing your way. In years past, that hasn't happened. They haven't had the ball bounce their way. They haven't been able to jump on the fumble. And good things happen to teams that start preparing early on. You got to create the culture. You got to do the right things. It looks like Boise's really heading in the right direction.
Yeah, Boise, a team that has just struggled for a long time, and Timberline has too, but more recently the Wolves have shown success, been able to make the playoffs even, and kind of be a factor in the 5A SIC. Boise looking to finally make that step, as we're going to re-kick it here. As Boise's still trying to shuffle players on and off the field. Extra point. Round 2 is up, and it is good, so no problem there. All said and done.
Well, most factors are looking good for Boise. Maybe special teams need to take a second look at that, trying to get their personnel on the field. But again, hats off to Boise, capitalizing on mistakes, turnovers, and really getting the ball, being able to punch it in. And to your point, too, Logan, which is don't have to hit the home run until they do, until they throw that ball, because they had been hitting that 4-yard or the 3-yard or just pushing the ball up the field. And all of a sudden, that defense has to respect that. It has to respect the run game, short pass, and you're able to hit the back shoulder throw to the end zone, and a fantastic grab. So congratulations to Boise for putting it together sooner than Timberline. I expect Timberline to make a push at some point because they have the personnel, but Boise seems to be putting it together sooner.
So the defense last year for Boise, a little bit of a problem. They gave up 42 points to Emmett, 31 to Skyview, 54 to Bora, 39 to Timberline, 50 to Capital, 48 to Meridian, and then 23 to Owyhee in one game. And then the next week they played Owyhee again and only gave up 3. So the defense kind of turns there. So they've only given up 3 points in the last 6 quarters so far. So the Boise defense was something that needed to be fixed up from last year, and they've done it so far. This kick is deep back at the 6-yard line. Lots of room for a return, and multiple flags come flying out. That one returned by Slavin, but it's going to come back to some degree, I believe. And a third flag for good measure comes out. I want to get in on this, too.
That's right. Don't want to be left out. Yeah, Timberline looks a little shocked. They look like they're not playing their game, being able to connect, because early on in this defense, again, we talked about it, undersized, but scrappy, and they're running some schemes. It looks like they're doing some twists and whatnot up front, some stunts, but for the most part, I mean, they're playing straight up. They're disguised.
Pretty decent season for them. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So looks like a different quarterback in right now, at least on this play for Timberline. We'll get to that after this run, a short run of maybe half a yard. But back under center now, Austin Rovig, trying to switch it up, see what they can tell after a couple of drives with Dahlberg, see what maybe Rovig can give them here. Rovig claps for the snap. He's going to go deep up top, and an adjustment tried to be made by Jones. If he turns around a little earlier, maybe he gets that.
You got to love the gaming that's going on here. I mean, these guys share a border. Half the kids could jump into one school or the other, but you see some of them a little bit of taunting. They probably know each other. They probably played, youth football together, and at this point there's a little jawing going on. Jared Fuller for Boise is kind of taunting a little bit the receiver, telling him, hey, got to make the catch, buddy.
3rd and 9. Nobody back with Rovig. He drifts back, and he's in trouble. The screen pass is caught around the 20. There's room to run up the sideline, and I believe they've got the first down at the 31. Looked like it might be a disaster, but Slavin was open on the screen. He gets it and picks up the first down.
Boy, they desperately needed a first down on that one, and you could tell. I mean, they've been moving backwards. They couldn't get positive yardage. That might be something like that, a play like that might be what they needed to turn the tide and start a little bit more momentum for the Timberline side.
Yeah, I mean, if Rovig holds that ball half a second longer, he's probably wrapped up around the 2-yard line. Got it out just in time. Snap back, run up the left side. Lots of room this time for Brown, and Brown picks up 9 yards up to the 40-yard line. So a great drive in the works here for Timberline.
Yeah, and that's what they needed, right? They loosen them up. They ease that pass rush up a little bit, and they're able to run the ball because they can't just pin their ears. So Timberline starting to put together. And, with a young quarterback, a sophomore quarterback that's coming in, you limit his reads, you simplify the game, and you tell your offensive lineman and the rest of the team, hey, help this guy execute. Just execute your part, and that's what it looks like they're doing on this drive.
Rovig, one man back, receiver in motion. This time Boise wraps up the handoff. That time Duncan Thompson with the tackle. They're going to lose a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 2. 5:20 to go here in the first half. Been a very quick moving first half, only 40 minutes in. Great day for football here in Boise. Clock ticking. Rovig awaits the snap. Claps, and he got the defense to jump.
Well, there's your first down. That's how you get it. Who cares how you get it as long as you get it?
It had been 1 clap snaps most of the game for Timberline, and they got the lineman. It looked like Dane Johnson just came across. He tried to get back, but the official throws the flag. Don't know if he made contact down there or not, but either way, he'll take the first down. Timberline gets a fresh set with 4:50 to go.
Yeah, and you mentioned it too. If you're a defensive line, you try to time it. You try to time that snap count because any advantage you can get to get upfield on it, and that's why you have to vary the snap count. Perfect example right there.
Rovig, again, one back behind him. He's going to go deep on the left side. He's got a man, just overshot him. Was looking for Heath Reese down there.
And that was a pretty ball. He turned the ball over in the air, overshot him, didn't hit him, but that's promising. You want to see that type of throw, the pretty ball, give your receiver a chance to run under it, especially when you have man coverage on the outside. Nobody was helping over the top. If you can get your guy past him and you can throw a ball up there, he can run right under it.
And he did get behind the defender just over his reach, just a little bit. So 2nd and 10, 4:33 to go. Handoff goes up the right side, a lot of room to run into the secondary and across the 30-yard line down to the 25 that time for Slavin, all the way up to the 20. We'll spot him right there at the 23-yard line, looks like 24. So a great run, great burst of speed to get into the second level. 1st and 10, Timberline.
Yeah, good move, good play. And you have to wonder how long that big Timberline offensive line is going to have to lean on Boise till they're going to loosen up a little bit, and they're able to pop one there.
First down for the Wolves. Best drive of the day for them. Slavin keeps it up the middle. He'll be brought down at the 20, so about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, so 2 plays ago when they threw that deep ball, what they forced them to do is then start respecting the deep ball and deep coverage. So they're now starting to rotate the safety over to the far side, which leaves less men in the box, and Timberline's taking advantage of that and being able to run up the gut and let their big horses up front do the job.
2nd and 5, 3:45 to go. Timberline would love to do nothing more than to eat up 2 minutes and punch this one in and not give the Brave a chance for a drive. 2nd and 5, Rovig goes left, and it hits Reese in the hands, but he's knocked down immediately. Great defense by Dexter Reinhard. Lays a hit as soon as the ball gets there, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that was his check down. I think his primary receiver was a deep receiver, and he just tried to get it to a secondary receiver. Would have been a gain of much, but it does stop the clock and allows them to regroup a little bit.
3rd and 5, kind of in the no man's land right here. Depends on it, if you have Ian Hershey on your team from Highland a couple years ago, then you're always in field goal range, but not every team is like that. There's a 3rd down handoff up the left side, and he's across the 10, and he's going to dance into the end zone, but a flag comes out around the 10-yard line. We saw that earlier, maybe a hold on a receiver upfield trying to block.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I was going to say, boy, that's a good block out there, but a little too good.
Because there was a spot right there around the 10 that I thought he was going to run into trouble, and he got around it very easily and walked right into the end zone. And I guess there was a reason for that. So we're going to replay third down. It should be roughly about the same position, 3rd and about 5.
Yeah.
Almost the same exact spot. It was 10 yards downfield. So we'll just repeat, copy and paste. Let's see if Timberline, what they come out with. That was successful. You know what? You didn't even need the hold.
He didn't.
He had already gotten the first down.
That's right.
One of those you just.
At that point, you give them a shove, put them off their back on their heels, and see what the back can do with that.
And a timeout going to be called by the Brave.
That's our first timeout of the half. It's been clean and not clean at the same time.
So again, let's take a quick look at what we saw last night here in the 5A SIC. Of course, Bora, we mentioned, beat Capital 21-0. Cuna all over Centennial, 28-3. Cuna kind of struggled last year. People were interested to see what the Cavemen could do this year, but a big step right there. And this was the big one, the big granddaddy, I'll say, of them all to open the year. Coeur d'Alene played Rigby at Missoula, Montana. It was a game broadcast right here on IdahoSports.com. People thought maybe that this was Coeur d'Alene's time to take over. Problem in 5A this year. Meridian all over Eagle, 36-14. Rocky Mountain beat Middleton, 21-7. And then we mentioned Owyhee over Madison, 13-7. So 3rd and 5. This time another run up the left side, and I believe he's got the first down by a yard. He needed the 11. He needed the 16. He got to the 15. And that'll be a first down.
And, Logan, that was the exact same play. It was the same play, almost the same result, off of the same penalty yardage.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So a first down. Now right at the 15-yard line. Under 3 minutes now to go here in the first half. Rovig rolls right, and he was looking for Jones. Jones kind of set up shop around the 10-yard line, but that one went in the dirt. Looked like he might have had a receiver going to the end zone.
Yeah, and he was open, too. They ran that stack, that inside slot people. The inside slot receivers were stacked, and they ran a flat route, and the guy jumped the flat route, and he went deep, and they left the guy trailing, and he had him in the end zone.
It was Aiden Nixon that they were looking for there in the end zone. So 2nd and 10, 2:49. Rolling left, and he's going to be sacked. What a tackle. That time, Duncan Thompson just blows through the line and wraps Rovig up by the legs, brings him down for a loss of 9 yards. So now 3rd and 19. What a stop.
What a stop. Duncan Thompson did the ultimate from an undersized defensive end. He shot the gap, and he beat his defender to the spot and went in and got the sack.
3rd and 20, they'll say. And so you look at the Boise line. They've got 2 linemen in the front that are down, in the stance. The other 2 on the outside look more like linebackers sneaking up. 3rd and 20. Rovig rolls right. And the throw is incomplete. He was looking for Lucas Midget at around the 10-yard line. They were going to be short. I was looking. We talked about it earlier, Timberline running route short, and that one, every route was short, but I think they were playing to, we're gonna go for it on 4th down. Let's make it a 4th and 5 instead of a 4th and 20.
Yeah.
But that's what they got here.
Yeah. And the young quarterback, he did the ultimate no-no. He threw across his body, and it was almost intercepted. It went through the hands of the Boise defensive back. And you teach these quarterbacks, don't throw against your body. You just can't get the oomph on the ball. You can't wing it like you did. And he saw a guy, thought he could make something happen. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he can make it happen.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, he can make it happen. Josh Allen, you can make it happen. But these guys at this age, especially a sophomore coming in, that's a tough throw. And as he gets older and he gets better, he's not going to make that throw. He's going to throw it, downfield. You generally step towards the line when you throw. You don't continue off to the sideline. So some of those things he'll continue to learn as he gets older. So I was going to ask you, Logan,
Yeah.
your top 3 5A picks this year.
Whew. I mean, coming into the season, I think everybody liked Rocky. I thought Meridian. I did a couple Meridian playoff games last year. I thought they looked really good last year, and I liked them coming in this year. And then Mountain View. I think those are my top 3. The rest, I really thought Middleton was not as bad as everybody made them out to be. And I tell you, after last night's game, I think they might cause some problems for people. Their defense was great. We'll get back to that after this 4th down play. 4th and 20. Kind of chucks it up, and it's going to fall incomplete. So no points on that possession for Timberline, which looked so good. Got down to the 15, but a sack moves it back, and it'll go back to the Brave. But I think Cuna looked good last night. Owyhee beating Madison looked good. Again, I mentioned it. It's hard to tell, right? We don't know what's going to happen next week, and then you see more of where pieces fall. You say a team looked good last week, but maybe they played a team that wasn't as good as we thought. So we're going to find out more as the weeks go along. And this 1st down play, Boise keeps it on the ground, and they pick up 8 yards. So, Ryan, who are your top 3?
I'm incredibly biased because I worked a little bit with the Meridian team last year. I give it Meridian, Rocky, and Rigby. And those 3 could probably
I thought you were talking about 5A SIC.
Oh, if we're talking SIC, it's those 3 that
no,
you said.
I would definitely put Rigby in that 100%.
Okay.
Rigby, my opinion, they're on top until somebody knocks them off. And they brought Tiger Adolfo leaves, and they just bring in Flowers at quarterback, and he might be better than Tiger.
Yeah. And I was talking to the Weber State coaches, and they are big on Tiger Adolfo when he gets back from his mission.
So a long run up the middle here. There's a flag going to come out. A screen pass by Boise gets all the way to midfield, but a flag thrown at midfield. Even if it's a hold around that spot, it's going to come back to around the 40. Still a big 1st down picked up by the Brave. We'll see what the call is. Yeah, I think Tiger went, I don't know, I saw a post on social media. I don't know where he went. Philippines, yeah. So he's on a LDS church mission over there. It's funny, I saw a post, and it was like 5 Rigby players all together from that state championship team to get it in one mission picture. It was kind of cool. But so Rigby, I think Flowers is just as good as Tiger. He's already got offers. He already has an offer to Arizona on his name, and he's played one varsity game. So Rigby, I think, is just going to be a problem for years to come. So screen pass set up this time on the 1st down play, and rolling forward in a 1st down and out of bounds. You can't draw it up any better if you're the Brave.
Yeah, Braden Rhodes caught that ball, put his head down, and he knocked over a defender. He finished forward, and he finished forward out of bounds. So that's like a double whammy. Pick up a couple more yards and stop the clock.
So 1st and 10, ball's going to be spotted at the 49-yard line. 48 seconds to go, so a little bit of hurry-up time right now for Boise. They've been able to stop the clock.
No,
they run it. I don't know why. He thought he got out of bounds. And you can see Allen's kind of saying, hurry up, look at the clock. We got to go. Under 40 seconds now. Handoffs up the middle. And going to be brought down after a gain of 3. They wasted a lot of time to pick up 3 yards there, and a timeout's now going to be called.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like Boise's Contend taking this 13-0 lead into halftime.
You know what? I think if you said that to them before the game, you're going to be up 13-0 at halftime. Do you want it, or do you want it?
I'll take it.
We'll take it. No more questions. We'll take it. And they've just played very well. The defense, but we've mentioned it a couple times, maybe to the naked eye looks a little undersized compared to Timberline, but definitely is not undermatched in terms of effort, in terms of technique, everything out there. They've been able to get pressure in the backfield all morning long, and it has caused a lot of problems for Timberline.
Yeah, a lot of problems. And they're doing it the unconventional way. I mean, they're putting 2 stand-up defensive ends that have rush and contain, and they're telling those guys, pin your ears, we'll let the rest of the guys do the work in the middle and the back and in the second level. And it's worked for Boise so far. They've gotten some big key sacks that have knocked Timberline out of field position, and then they've been able to flip the field a couple of times now, taking this lead.
So 25 seconds to go. Ball's at the 47. So looking for a screen. He's trying to get away, running left, almost sacked. He's going to try and get out of bounds, and he does. So Smith gets out of bounds. He's going to lose. After all of that, did he get back to the line of scrimmage? I think he did. He ran about 30 yards to pick up none. But importantly, he gets out of bounds. Only 13 seconds left. This might be, like you said, Ryan, you know what? Let's not make a mistake here.
Yeah.
That would be the worst possible thing for them.
Yeah, if it were me, I probably would have taken a knee on second down, make sure Timberline didn't have enough timeouts to burn, but here we go.
2 receivers up top, 2 down low. Very 4 verticals looking, and false start going to be called. Everybody went except the center. So Juan Carlos Franco saying, hey, guys, I wasn't ready. He snapped that one. So it'll come back 5 yards. So maybe this changes the decision now on the other side of the 50 at the 48. Still only 13 seconds left. It is 3rd down. So if you're going to end it on this, make sure to take up 13 seconds. Or Timberline might want a chance to potentially block a punt. Smith with the shotgun snap, and he's going to go deep across the middle, and it's going to be intercepted, but it's going to be pass interference. The flags come flying out, thrown into double coverage looking for Caleb Allen, and probably not the smartest pass in the world. It did get intercepted, but there was contact before the ball got there, so Boise going to get another crack at it.
Yeah, going to get another crack. And you know what? If you're Timberline, who cares, right? Essentially what you're saying is you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball 50 yards in the air,
right.
Number one. And if the guy catches it, puts him in field position. So if you have to give him PI or whatever it is, it eats up clock, and it makes it takes them, gives them another shot, but it only puts them 15 yards further down the field.
So this is going to be should be the last play of the half. 5 seconds to go. The ball will be moved up to the 37-yard line. So this might be...
Now it's reasonable, right? We'll see what he has with an arm.
And he threw that last pass from around the 45, and it got all the way down to roughly the 20. So I think he might be able to get this one to the end zone. It's going to take an effort to get it there.
A yeoman's effort, as they say.
We'll see. Yeah, it's or just short. We'll see what they can throw up here. Sometimes you see them just switch quarterbacks for a play like this, but Smith will stay in there. 3 receivers left, 2 up top. This should do it for the half. Allen comes in motion. Fake handoff to him. Smith going deep left side. He's got a man open, and it's caught, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness. As time expires, Smith finds his receiver, Ernie Dryden, open on the left side of the field, and he goes in for 6. Excuse me, that's Joseph Curtis. Curtis goes in the end zone on the final play of the half.
Wow. You couldn't have written it up any better than that. Outside corner, last play. One guy. All he had to do was shake one guy, and he did. Hauled it in. It was a great catch. Up over his head, and he brought it in for the touchdown. And we called it. That 15 yards made a difference, as a matter of fact, as it turns out, for the touchdown.
So I guess the Boise coaching staff gave us, the back off. We're not taking a 13-0 lead into half. We're going to go ahead and kick this extra point and make it 20-0, the Brave over Boise as we hit the halftime break. So what a half of football from the Brave as they come out and really stick it to them here in the second quarter. 3 touchdowns. We're going to take a quick break and be back with the halftime report here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things,
but you can do them.
quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
If you don't know what's possible, it's hard to ask, what if? Which is why Next Steps was created, where you can explore career paths, learning options, and what's possible in Idaho. So keep asking what if at Next Steps.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
We're Valleywide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things,
But you can do them.
quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
All right, welcome back. Halftime here at Donald Larson. Let's give you the scoring report. No score after one quarter. Then Boise came in hot. It was a bad punt by Timberline that finally, after Boise had flipped the field, and a bad punt from their own end zone by Timberline led to a 9-yard touchdown pass and reception by number 1 Caleb Allen at the 9:21 mark. The extra point was blocked, so it left it 6-0. Next drive, Timberline fumbles the ball at the 20-yard line. A 20-yard catch followed that by number 12, Joseph Curtis. Made it 13-0 after the extra point in favor of the Brave. And then as the clock expired here in the first half, a 37-yard touchdown catch again from Joseph Curtis made it 20-0 in favor of the Brave. That one came after a pass interference was called with 5 seconds left. And it set up Boise, and they were able to punch it in. So they lead this one 20-0 at the halftime break.
Yeah, and none of the scores were flukes. I mean, Boise's not playing fluky football. It's not something that just so happened or whatever. They've actually put drives together, and they've been able to execute and really capitalize on the turnovers. And that's what's stood out in my mind is how Boise's put together a real good football game, both defensively and offensively. And as we talked about multiple times now, it looks like, on paper, that Timberline should outmatch these guys, but they are definitely standing toe-to-toe. They're doing it with a lot of heart, a lot of drive, and good coaching, good tackling on defense. So none of it's been fluky at all. They put together good drives and good scoring. And that last touchdown's a little fluky, but it's set up to be that way. You get the pass interference, you move the ball down the field, and then now you're in position. In fact, that's what you hope for. You hope for a pass interference or something like that, because there would have been a dead ball, no clocked play at the end if there would have been a pass interference. So they at least had one more play. So hats off to the coaching staff at Boise. They're doing a solid job. As for Timberline, you can see it. They've showed glimpses of it. If they put their heads down and they move the ball and they start leaning on that defensive line a little bit, they're busting off some big plays and starting to move the ball. They just can't keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Now, mistakes are the name of the game right now for Timberline. A couple turnovers, a turnover in the red zone, a turnover on downs in the red zone, and you just can't do that. So we've talked a lot about the conference so far in this one. Let's take a look at last year. Again, the conference split into two divisions, the Foothills Division and the River Division. So last year, Rocky Mountain finished first in the Foothills, followed by Eagle, Meridian, Timberline, Skyview, and Boise. In the River Division, Mountain View, Bora, Capital, Centennial, Cuna, and Owyhee. Again, Boise kind of played not a traditional schedule last year. They played games out of conference, almost like kind of like what Caldwell is doing this year. Caldwell is technically a 5A school. They've petitioned down to play 4A, but they can't compete in 4A. So they're going to go play in a schedule where they can get in some 2 and 3A games just to get that confidence back. And you see that right now from Boise. Just winning, it does not matter. I played lacrosse in high school, and we were very, very, very bad, like extremely bad. I think we won one conference game in my 4 years. And the thing is, we were playing against some of the biggest. I grew up in North Carolina, the biggest schools in Durham and Chapel Hill, where kids, grew up playing. And I lived in a more rural area of the area, and we struggled. And I knew we were not going to win a state championship. I knew we were never going to sniff the playoffs. But I would have loved to have played, as a 4A school, maybe a 2A school, maybe a 3A school, just to compete and enjoy playing the game a little bit more than, getting the brakes beat off of us every night. And you see some teams do that, like Boise last year playing a little modified schedule. Caldwell playing a modified schedule. Even Wood River, in Haley going down to 3A just to, I think that instills a little bit more passion in the younger fan base. They don't know. They just see wins. And if they see a team winning, they want to be a part of that. And that's not something that traditionally Boise had. But the last couple of years, being able to win a couple of games, you know what? As the times have changed, they look phenomenal today. So you look at the standings from last year. Sorry, that was kind of a rant. But do they line up similar this year? I think a lot of people think that. A lot of people high on Bora coming in this year, and they showed out last night against Capital. Kuna looking a lot better than last year. Kuna only won a game a year ago against Owyhee. And Owyhee as well, they only won one game against Boise. So Kuna and Owyhee already, I think, look better than they did last year. Of course, the 5A SIC has two newcomers in Middleton and Nampa this year and lost Skyview. So it's going to be a lot different. It's hard to say after 1 week how everything's going to go. We'll see next week when other people start playing other people, and then we know, okay, that defense was that good, or, that defense played an offense that maybe isn't as good as we thought they were. We'll find out as the season goes along.
Yeah, and the architect of Boise a couple of years ago taking that modified schedule, jumping out of hey, we're not going to play in the playoffs. We just need to get kids to come out and play. And then 3 years later, has it been 3 years? This is year 3. So 3 years later, here they are now putting together a full game. They have a full sideline.
Right.
They couldn't even field a JV team prior to this. And now they have a full sideline with kids coming out to play. And you're right, getting a taste of that victory, getting a taste of playing, or even just being competitive. You could be 3-5, and if you're competitive in those 5 games, it feels good to come out and play. Now, as far as the SIC is concerned, I think that you still have the perennials at top.
Right.
You still have the big boys. And if you're Boise and you go play Meridian, you go play Rock, you go play some of those teams, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt one way or another. Now, can they pull it off? Maybe. But more than likely, what it looks like is you're continuing to build against the rest of the teams. You talked about how Timberline or Bora looks. Everybody's looking to be high on Bora. Bora has to prove. They have to prove themselves against some of these bigger teams, some of the, the powerhouses. And as soon as they do, then you start moving up the ladder. But all in all, when every team is somewhat competitive, and at this point, I think you're looking at maybe a Centennial that needs to continue to rebuild some more. Timberline, I thought, would show a little better. I think second half they'll show up a little bit more. I mean, they have numbers. I'm looking at them right now.
Right.
They have kids. But I think if everybody's better, it's more fun, and it's better for the sport.
Oh, yeah. And you look at the realignment for the divisions this year. Let's just look at the River Conference, which Boise plays in. You have Bora, Kuna, Owyhee, Boise, Mountain View, Nampa, and Eagle. So we saw Eagle kind of get beat pretty good last night against Meridian. And a lot of people thought it's going to be Mountain View 1. And what are we seeing right now? Great things from Boise. Maybe that division is a lot better than people thought, maybe coming into the year that it was going to be. You can't always just say, well, that's what happened last year, so that's going to happen this year.
Sure.
On the other side, I think you've got Rocky and Meridian 1-2. But then I think after that, it could be Middleton that it fits in that third spot. All the rest of the teams, Capital lost, Centennial lost, Middleton lost, and then Timberline trails in this one. But I tell you, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it ends up shaking out in that Foothills division. I thought a lot of people thought maybe Capital and Timberline would vie for that second spot. But I tell you, from what I saw from Middleton, that defense is pretty good. Sweeney did throw all over the field, but he only had three touchdowns in about a 6-minute span. And outside of that, Middleton held him in check, held that defense in check. And, if they can get their offense going.
Some of the interesting scheduling quirks this year. So, for example, Meridian and Rocky play in the same division, but don't play each other. In fact, they've left 2 games off to play in that SIC, and instead Meridian ends up playing somebody like a Pocatello. They end up playing a Capital, but they don't play somebody in their same division. That's just part of the scheduling quirks as it goes around because they play kind of a round robin around the valley. So you're going to see some of those. So you may end up with a really interesting 1-2 in a bunch of these conferences, in these 2 conferences, in the 5A section.
And again, the 5A, the standings, they play their cross. So if you finish first, you play the first place team. And if you finish second, you play the second place team. And typically, because, the 5A has 3 conferences. They have Eastern Idaho. There's one up in North Idaho, and then the Treasure Valley. And, typically, we could pull it up and look at the bracket, but typically roughly 5 to 6 teams from the 5A SIC will punch a ticket. So if you finish first and second, you can pretty much assure yourself a trip to state. Now, Bora last year, they were the final at-large team, snuck into the playoffs, ended up winning a game in the playoffs, as well as I think Capital did too. They went up and beat Lewiston. And so, you might not do extremely well in conference, but traditionally we see, I think the top of the 3 conferences is very good. You got your Coeur d'Alene, you got your Rigby, and you got your top teams here. Those 3, are on the same level, but I think the middle of the pack of the 5A SIC is a step ahead of the middle of the pack in Eastern Idaho and the middle of the pack in North Idaho.
I'd agree with you on that.
So Boise gets it kicked off. We're underway in the second half. Timberline takes the kick deep, and they'll get back to the 20-yard line as we are underway.
Yeah, and if you're Timberline, we talked about it before, you just have to establish your game. And if it's me, it starts with the run game. Utilize some of those big bodies up front and make sure that your back, Slavin gets the ball and that you punch it forward. Run north-south, not a lot of lateral stuff because you can probably move this defensive line. Now, if you're Boise, keep doing what you're doing. You got to shoot gaps, play tough, and put hats on the ball.
So 1st and 10. For Timberline. Trying to see who's back in there at quarterback. It looks like Rovig is back in there again as that run to the left side gains nothing. So again, if you're just tuning in, Ronnie Dahlberg started at quarterback for Timberline, the junior. He was replaced midway through the second quarter by Austin Rovig, the sophomore. And Rovig was able to put together a good drive and ended up stalling in the red zone, but able to get to the red zone, but neither quarterback able to put a scoring drive on the board. It'll be 2nd and 11. Rovig going across, and he was trying to hit Jones on a cross, but threw it to no man's land, and he's kind of lucky that no Brave defenders just parked up shop because that one thrown into a horde of black jerseys.
Well, he threw in between Bishop. Bishop was the tight end on that out route. And he just threw too high for one and not enough for the other, and it landed in no man's land. And he's really, we talked about it before, he's running just a one-read play at this point. You have to simplify it. So his reads, you read one half the field, and then you say, hey, if this guy's open, great, throw it here. If not, then maybe throw it away. And so he's running a very simplified offense at this point.
Rovig under pressure. A receiver comes back to it, but he's not able to get it there. So again, he was drifting back towards the end zone and had to throw it kind of across his body to a receiver coming back to the ball, not able to get it there, and it's all of a sudden 4th down for Timberline.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty start. That didn't look good for the Timberline side, and I know that's not what they had drawn up and what they wanted. At this point, you kind of have to take a look at what has worked in the past, but that certainly was not what they wanted to start the second half with.
So it looks like Caden Jones is going to take the punt for Timberline. Got to get a better one away than what we saw earlier. Waiting for the snap. That one a low, and he kind of shanks this one again off to the right side. This one a little bit better. It takes a good Timberline bounce, but it doesn't get across midfield. It'll die around the 47-yard line. But I tell you, the snap was low. It dribbled on the ground. Boise got no penetration. If they did, they might have been able to block it. A lot of time for him to get it away, but either way, good field position. They'll actually spot it at the 48. So Boise in business once again.
Yeah, and as far as battle of field position, advantage Boise. Boise's definitely started, and they flipped it. They did a lot of that on their own, just like they did here. They flipped the field here already.
They had bad field position in the first quarter. It was definitely in favor of Timberline, and they finally were able to flip it late, and that shanked punt led to a touchdown and a turnover, and just like that, now 11:03 to go here in the third quarter. Boise looking to add to the lead. Smith, he'll roll left. Some room to run. Can he get around the edge? No, but that should be a flag. You saw the head go down. I didn't have to see the hand touch the face mask, just the motion of the head going down like that. We should see a face mask penalty.
Yeah, and that was a designed run, and that's the old zone read, right, where everybody blocks down, and the running back takes the handoff, and he just waits for the hole to open. And they did that with the quarterback because he's quick, he's nimble, he reads well, he has a good feel. We talked about it before. And then on top of that, you tack on 15 yards. So very productive play, even if it wasn't only a 2-yard gain, but you got a lot out of it.
Yeah, just stay on your feet and make the defense make a mistake, which they did there with the face mask. Ball will be spotted right on the 30-yard line. Boise moving from right to left where they've scored all their points so far. Quick handoff this time over on the right side. Ball carrier is Jared Fuller. Haven't seen him yet today, but Fuller maybe loses 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Yeah, Fuller playing a little two-way ball here, and you know, the programs like this have to do it. They don't typically just have a straight offense and a straight defense. So some of these better athletes will end up playing both sides of the ball.
And I think Boise is content to let as much time come off the clock every single play as possible. A 20-point lead, you know, it's it's definitely not a safe lead. That's you know, we've seen bigger comebacks in less amount of times, but you got to be happy with where you're at. And if you can eat clock, you're going to like your position. 2nd down. Going to go deep this time. Over the top is not caught. Looked good. Just out of the hands, though, of Braden Rhodes down the right side.
Yeah, Rhodes 6'3", and he showed it right there, and that was a good ball. That should have been caught. That was a very catchable ball. He ran the fade route. The safety was late getting over, so he had man coverage on that far sideline, and he went up, and honestly, it looks like he looked back into the sun, maybe lost it in the sun.
Yeah, the sun is, as we're seeing, he would have been looking right at it on that play. Like you said, Ryan, I think 9 out of 10 times he'll probably catch that one as it was just off the hands. So 3rd and 10. No one back with Smith. 2 up top, 3 to the left. And here comes the blitz. He gets away from it. Short screen in the middle, and Timberline snuffs it out. Brought down by number 24, Jacob Schabel in the middle, and Boise's going to lose 3 yards. So now it'll be 4th and about 14 from the 34. So decision time now for the Brave.
Yeah, and maybe you can pull a repeat of the end of the first half. I doubt it. But, no, you got to punt the ball in this, and especially when you have a 20-point lead. And if you're Timberline, you got to take a little bit of heart in this, saying, hey, we got to stop. You know, they got the face mask penalty. They move the ball down the field. But if you're Timberline, you say, hey, we get the ball back. We're going to be in tough field position. What do we have to do to start stringing some plays together? And to me, that looks like you've got to go to that power run game. You got to go off the left side. That's where they've seen the most success, and continue to move the ball that way. They have a whole second half to make up 20 points.
So it looks like Blake Tomac is going to come in for a field goal attempt. And a delay of game is actually going to be called. So I think
timeout.
Oh, the flag was thrown, but they got the timeout before. I thought maybe they were taking a delay of game to maybe give a little more breathing room and try a punt. This is not a bad spot to punt. You know, in a college or NFL game, this is definitely field goal range. But this is fringe. I mean, it's a 50-yarder. They were lined up on the 40 to kick it, but not sure if he's got the leg for that. But great spot to punt it. You know, if you can pooch this thing and get Timberline pushed back, we've seen Boise with the ability to get pressure in the backfield and get to Rovig back there. They would love to pin him inside the 5 if possible and maybe come away with a safety. Remains to be seen what they decide to do on this 4th down play. I think either way, I think they would you know what? I would take the punt. I wouldn't risk a field goal and giving Timberline good field position. I say good, but better than being inside the 10. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head at this point. And this is what's so critical about high school football. You have to, because it is a lower tier. You know, you're not playing in high-level college football, but if you have really good special teams,
right,
you can dominate a game. And we saw that through multiple areas. I mean, we talked about the Highland kicker, right? who was drilling 50-yarders.
I still can't believe that ISU was the only school to come after him. Like, that guy, he could be playing a lot bigger level football with his leg. I mean, I've seen him in warm-ups kick 60-yarders.
But if you want my true opinion, as a kicker or a punter, it really doesn't matter. If you're good, you're going to be good because it's not like, oh, fake field goal, fake punt. Okay, they just did the rugby punt.
Yeah, they rolled right, looking like he might want to
he said
go
out
for
of the
it.
stadium past the track.
Line drive punt. Let's see where they say it went out of bounds.
Yeah.
They're going to say it went out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So at the end of the day, it's only a 10-yard punt. At that point, you just go for it if it's going to go out there. I thought it was more down around the 20. But at the end of the day, that punt was very line drive in nature. Didn't really get up in the air. And really only a 10-yard punt when it's all said and done. 1st and 10 for Timberline. If you're a Wolves fan, you got to like that. Rovig still back there. Handoff up the middle. Good run to start things off. About 6 yards upfield that time for the ball carry. Looked like Kellen Brown on the carry.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to have to keep doing, right? Hand the ball off, get the ball upfield, go north and south. But if you're the offensive line, you've got to take a little bit of, dig in deep and have some pride at this point and say, listen, they're only putting 4 men in front of me. Can I get to the second level? What can I do to create some space for my running back? Because they need to be able to move the ball, and I think it's going to continue to go with the run game.
2nd and 6. Another run, this time up the left side and brought down after, and it's going to be a horse collar tackle, I think is what they're going to call. And I don't know if it was one of those where the hands were up there. And sometimes you see an official call that, and it looks like they did call it. That's just my guess because it was thrown right at the tackle spot.
Yeah. Well, in Timberline, again, look at it. Yeah, there you go, horse collar tackle. So, again, Timberline, looks the part, so play the part. And that means hand the ball off, be able to move the ball upfield. And if I were them, I would maybe focus on hitting a little harder, right? Hit the hole hard, and blast off the ball. I also look at Boise, and they're doing just a good job of digging in still. They're staying consistent to what they're doing. And they've created some turnovers, for that matter, especially with a young quarterback. Then you can create turnovers.
So a big penalty moves the ball to midfield for Timberline. 7:40 to go in the third quarter. This run up the middle goes nowhere. A whole host of Brave players on top of it, and they bring him down. Just a short gain for Slavin that time.
Yeah, Slavin's a different kind of back. He's a north-south guy. They bring in the scat back, so to speak, on this, who has a little more in the hole dance ability with Kellen Brown. A little smaller, a little quicker in the hole. Kind of change of pace back.
Second down. Rovig is going to be sacked. And once again, we've called his name multiple times. Duncan Thompson is the first one there, and he brings down Rovig, who will have to come out for a play as he loses his helmet.
Duncan Thompson beat his man off the edge, and you called it before. He's that stand-up defensive end, and so his responsibility is to stand up in that 4-3 is you get upfield. You cause pressure on the quarterback, and that's what he's done. And he beat that tackle off the edge. I mean, he kind of came untouched on that. If it were me, maybe chip the defensive end, chip Duncan a little bit, and see if you can create a little bit more time in the backfield for your quarterback. Dahlberg's back in now.
3rd and 15. Dahlberg will throw it from the shotgun. He'll have to roll left. He's got some space, but it closes quickly. And once again, another third down stop by Boise. Looks like Carson Nilsson was in on that one. So Timberline will have to punt it away again. And I tell you what, this Boise defense has looked very good today.
Very good. You know, the thing that I was going to say about Boise is they're swarming. They're tackling in hordes. It's not just one guy. It's 4 guys on the ball. Wherever the ball is, they're hustling to the ball and they're making tackles, and they're not letting people escape for the most part.
So back to punt once again, Caden Jones. He'll await the snap. Good snap. Good kick. Backpedaling, taken at the 11. This time is Britt. Britt across the 20, up to the 25, and rolls forward to the 28-yard line. So good return of about 18 or 17 yards by return man Luke Britt. Will set up the Brave at the 28 with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. And be sure to check the schedule next week for IdahoSports.com's broadcast schedule, I should say. We've got a ton of games, I think we're at 25 games next week. Of course, we have the Rocky Mountain Rumble over in Eastern Idaho. 8 teams from Idaho against 8 teams from Utah. Should be a fantastic event. Just check the schedule. We'll be covering, I believe, we're going to try, we'll hit on this after this first down play, as the ball is fumbled on the back, picked up by the running back, Klein, and Klein picks it up, and they still lose about 7 yards. But in a couple of weeks, Timberline is going up north to Post Falls. We're still working out the kinks, but we'd love to be there for that game. I think our north crew is going to try and be there for it. So just be sure to check the broadcast schedule. Find out when we're covering Timberline, covering Boise, or covering your favorite school again. Chances are we'll be there. We're trying to hit as many places as we can this year. It'll be 2nd and 18 now, 4:50 to go in the third quarter. And again, we've seen this a couple of times. It's going to be a false start where the right side of the line for Boise moved before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, they're running the old counter tray out of the shotgun, pulling the 2 offensive linemen from the far side of the ball, bringing them around to trap on the near side. But, these last 2 plays, we've seen the snap problems. They haven't been able to get the snap back to the quarterback, which has caused some serious issues. And if you can't get that up, if the ball's dribbling on the ground, that's cause for turnover.
2nd and 21. Smith on the option, and somehow Klein rakes it in after that pitch was far out there. And was the ball down, or Klein just still on his feet? No, it was just Klein. So it's going to be 3rd and long.
Good pursuit by Timberline. They got out there and they had a man on the ball. He turned it back inside, and pursuit caught up to him. And that's how you have to play that play. When they're running the inside pitch option, they fake the inside and then run the pitch to the outside. You want everything to funnel back to the middle of the field.
So Boise now on a 3rd and long, and they're in the traditional huddle. I don't know if I've seen that in a long time. Usually teams run up to the line and they look back for the call. But Boise, they want to eat that clock. Under 4 minutes in the third quarter. Smith in the shotgun. 2 backs either side. Smith will roll left. He's got some space and some blockers, but a flag going to come out probably for a hold. And if I'm Timberline, I probably just decline this thing. But I don't know. That would make it 3rd and roughly 32. You know what? I changed my mind. I would take this penalty.
No, they declined it.
Yeah, they are going to decline it and just say punt it away.
Yeah. Well, after that touchdown.
Yeah.
The end of the
don't want to give them any chances. But 3rd and 32 back against your own end zone, a little different scenario. And I almost like, let me see if you can do something.
Yeah, and Boise's taking a little bit more of a conservative play calling role this half, and you can see that they're content to hold on to the ball, as you mentioned, with a 20-0 lead. They're content to just hang on to the ball.
This punt high in the air, and Boise touches it around the 47. There's one coming down the field. Just let that thing bounce. As soon as it hit the ground, the Brave touched it, and we couldn't tell if it was going to go back, in their favor, or take a Timberline bounce, but at least let it bounce up and see where it's going to go as they down it. And a good punt, though, gets the field ball on the other side of midfield, where Timberline will take over 1st and 10 with 3:05 to go in the third.
Timberline has a long road ahead of them if they're going to get back into this ball game, and that's all going to start with just execution. And with a young quarterback, we've talked about it before, simplify the game, get some quick wins. Maybe a 5-yard out, maybe something across the middle, something he doesn't have to show a big arm or anything like that, but just get some good wins for him, build a little bit of confidence, and start putting a drive together.
Timberline looking for a spark now as they trail 20-0 here in the third. Rovig back in at quarterback after losing his helmet last drive. A handoff on the right side of the field. Goes for about 3 yards that time, ball carrier Kellen Brown. So Timberline has used a couple of different backs. You've seen Brown in there. You've seen Slavin in there. And I think Slavin runs the best between the tackles up the middle. That's typically where you see him go, and you see Brown maybe take it on the outside.
Yeah, Slavin's that north-south back.
So 2nd and about 7. And on point, Slavin up the middle into the second level. He's across the 50, across the 40, now across the 30. And that's where he'll be brought down. Big gain by Slavin.
Yeah, and that started right up the middle, started between the tackles. He was able to break it one side. It was one cut, got around the edge and picked up big yardage, and that's exactly what they needed.
A 21-yard pickup on that. Actually, let's make it a 23-yard pickup by Slavin, as now they're inside the 30 down to the 29.
And this feels like a must-score drive for Timberline. You've got to put some points on the board.
And Slavin will take it up the left. He'll pick up maybe 2 on that one, so Boise all over it. And this is where the drives have stalled for Timberline. We've seen them get down here before. We saw a turnover once. We saw them get in good field position, and then a sack and a penalty led to a turnover on downs that then turned into a touchdown for Boise going the other way. So now it's 2nd down, 2nd and 9 from the 27. Rovig will roll to his right. He's got a man around the 20. It's going to be caught at the 22 as he comes back. Reception made by Bailey Daughtry.
So there you go. There's a quick, easy reception. Build some confidence for your quarterback and continue to do those types of things. The other thing that I like that they did is they rolled him out of the pocket. He got out of the pocket, was able to create some space, took a little bit of that pressure off, and that gave him a clear throwing lane to the receiver on the outside.
So the officials call for time. They're going to ask for Max Anderson to come off the field for Boise. Must have been an equipment issue. They'll swap in another player. So 3rd and very manageable. 3rd and about 3, a long 3 for Timberline. And they get him to jump again. So Rovig on that clap. All day long he's been clapping, and the snap comes after one clap. And this time they do the hard count, 1 clap, no snap. And at two times, 2 jumps, 2 first downs.
I'll take it, they say. Move those chains. It's a hot day today.
It's
in the
hot.
sun, middle of it. And we're starting to see some cramps on the sidelines. A couple players have come off. Very hot day. I'd say tough conditions, but it's a clear day. It's a nice day, but just very hot.
1:20 to go. 1st and 10. Ball at the 18. Rovig takes the snap. He's going to go to the end zone. This is in danger of being picked, and it is in the end zone. The Brave with the interception. That throw just got a little bit away from him. And another turnover and getting ugly out there on the field. 2 players wrestling with each other, and flags come flying from all over. But either way, that's after the fact. Ball intercepted in the end zone. And Boise, another huge takeaway in the red zone.
Big time takeaway. That stopped a very productive drive. And honestly, that may just be the straw that breaks the camel's back unless Timberline can put something together in the 4th quarter. But the thing that is interesting about that particular play is it was a one-look throw. All he did is he looked out there and he threw it. And that's a young quarterback feeling a little bit of the pressure. Okay, hey, I got to make something happen here. And it was either a miscommunication, wrong route, or wrong ball thrown. Either way, it ended up in an interception. And it allows Boise to preserve the lead and also take care of the ball like they've been doing.
So we got 2 dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalties, 1 on Boise, 1 on Timberline. They'll offset each other. So the ball's going to come out to the 20. The interception was in the end zone. They never made it out of the end zone, so the ball will be spotted at the 20. And I'm sure both of those players getting a nice talking to after the extracurriculars. Like you mentioned, these guys, they got to know each other.
They know each other.
I mean, a lot of people are moving to Boise, so maybe they don't, but you got to think, for the most part, these guys have played together in some way, shape, or form over the years, and things can just get a little little heated down there in the trenches.
Get a little chippy.
So another takeaway by the Brave. 1st and 10. Ball at the 20, 1:12 to go in the 3rd. And the ball is down on the ground. Smith gets it, and he rolls to the left side, and he might pick up a yard. So that ball was fumbled right out of the gate. Could have turned disaster for Boise, but Smith turns it into a positive gain.
And they have had 3 errant snaps in the last 2 drives, and those are bad. I mean, those are drive killers. Obviously, the ball's on the ground if it's recovered by the other team, but just executing it. And Boise's executed all day. For them to kind of fall apart right now, I get it. It's hot. There's fatigue, but you got to continue to focus on what you do. Snap the ball, control the ball.
So second, they got 10 on the board. I'm going to say 9 3/4 for you Harry Potter fans out there. 25 seconds to go. Handoff once again up the middle. Nowhere to go for Klein. He's wrapped up immediately. Brought down by number 27, Lance Higgins. A little extra shove for good measure. The officials let it go. Like you said, it's hot. People are pushing around, and frustration builds. You know, when you just are close but can't get it done, these things happen, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. As we get ready to start the fourth, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the final quarter of play here on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
If you don't know what's possible, it's hard to ask, what if? Which is why Next Steps was created, where you can explore career paths, learning options, and what's possible in Idaho. So keep asking what if at Next Steps.
All right, welcome back. Fourth quarter ready to get started. So first quarter of play, no score. Second quarter of play, Boise scores 20 points. Third quarter, no score. So we'll see if somebody can put up 20 points and keep the pattern going here in the third. Timberline would love to put up 20 or more, get right back into this thing. We'll start off with a third down play, 3rd and about 8. I think they're waiting for everything on the clock to come back up, and there it is. So 3rd and 8, ball on the 22. We flip into the field now. Boise moving from left to right. Again, Boise, black helmets, black jerseys, black pants, red numbers. Timberline, almost the exact opposite. White helmets, jerseys, pants, and blue numbers. So Smith throws to the right side, and they're going to lose 2 yards on that pass on the outside to Nielsen. So Boise will be forced to punt early here in the fourth.
Boise very confident in their defense right now, and the defense is playing at a high level. I mean, they haven't shown any reason to not have confidence in them, but very conservative play calling on the offensive side of the ball. Just taking care of the ball, don't turn it over. Ball security is the name of the game at this point for Boise, and if you can get a good punt, pin Timberline back quite a ways and have them have to go the whole field, the more the better.
Boise, good kick. This one sky high. It's going to land at the 40. Return by Reese up just to the 45, so really not a long return. Boise gets back quickly. Ryan Hughes was in there, the big 6'2" junior. He wraps him up on special teams. That's a great special team play by Hughes and brings him down. And just like that, Timberline will take over. You got 55 yards to go. This is some of the best field position they've had recently in this one.
And this is a critical drive. We talked about the last one being a key to the game, but this is it. You don't score here, and the way that Boise's been able to take care of the ball, you've really got to consider some other options and maybe moving the ball down the field.
Handoff up the middle. Picks up about 3 yards.
And Boise's not giving them too much coverage look. I mean, it's been pretty much man-to-man. They'll float a safety to one side or the other. But to me, it looks like Timberline could start running some seam routes, get on the inside of the defender. I think they could have some success, but they're really going to have to start moving the ball down the field.
They just have not thrown it much at all. It's been all on the ground or short little screen pass. We just have not seen Timberline take that shot and complete it, except early in the game. Rovig, he'll hand off again on the left side. Good run here. First down, picked up across the 45, down to the 43-yard line. That time, Brown on the carry.
Yeah, and that first down's critical to make sure they keep the ball moving forward. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's the absolute truth. They have to keep picking up chunks, 10 yards at a time, get down and score some points, and that's going to be the determining factor for the rest of the game is if they score on this drive.
This handoff goes to the right side, and Boise all over it. Still on his feet, finally goes down is Slavin. Thought Slavin was going to cut it up the middle. He bounced outside to the right and ends up losing 2 yards. The Boise defense, I tell you, it's interesting. They'll give up some chunk runs like we saw in that last play or 2 plays ago by Brown, but then it's not consecutive. They will stop them the next 2 or 3 plays later. They're not consistently giving up large chunks of yards, which is why there's a big goose egg on the board right now for Timberline.
Yeah, great call. They swarm to the ball on defense. Don't fool me once, they say.
Rovig drifting back, gets the screen pass in the middle. Room to run right now for Slavin, and Slavin, flags come flying in.
Boy, I don't know at this point. Flags are flying all over.
There's multiple players down. Slavin comes running off. I don't know if it was a helmet-to-helmet, if it was a hold. Because down on a knee right now for Boise, that looks to be number 9. Yeah, Dexter Reinhardt,
24,
slow to get up.
Jacob Schauble. No, I'm sorry. Wrong team. I've said it before. No, Jared Fuller. That's right. Jared Fuller looks to be down for Boise also.
So not sure what happened in the middle of the field there. I think every yellow flag is on the field. Medical crew out there attending to Fuller. So it's a hot day out here. I don't know what my weather app tells me it is. It's 93. Or no, it was yesterday. 84. The high is supposed to be 96 here in Boise. Maybe a 9 a.m. kickoff would have been. That's not very fun for tailgating, though. I did see some people tailgating in the parking lot here this morning.
Good for them. That's fantastic. No, and it's a little humid today, too, because we had the thunderstorms last night. They kind of came through. Feels like there's a little residual humidity, so it's got to be toasty. And these turf fields are so hot. I mean, it's a good 120-plus degrees on those fields right now. Very, very warm for the players.
So the penalty they're motioning is against Timberline. So maybe that's the reason we're seeing Fuller down on the field. It was a personal foul. Personal foul. Okay, now they're calling a personal foul against Boise.
And they did the customary, we're going to march it this way, then we're going to march it back. It's kind of funny if you ask me.
So was one must have been live, like during the play, and then one was after a dead ball. Because you didn't see the offsetting penalty on that one.
Right, they marched it off and then marched it off.
So we'll see what ends up being the.
And I didn't see what happened. I didn't see anything. It looked fairly clean to me, but obviously the refs have a little bit different perspective than we do from up here in the booth.
You know, we're watching usually what's, the ball carrier, what's going on, and there's 6 of them down there looking at different things on the field, and something happened in the middle of that play. My guess might have been a helmet to helmet against Timberline, and then some Boise players took exception to that. Either way, let's just wash our hands and repeat. It'll be second down.
2nd and 5, 4.
So 9:40 to go. We're quickly moving along here. Quick moving game.
So we have a confusion. We have 3rd down on the scoreboard. Sidelines that say is 2nd down.
The official held up 2 fingers, saying second down. So that handoff up the middle to Brown. Good for about 3 yards. So I think what happened, the penalty occurred during the play. So it's a, repeat second down. And then there was a dead ball penalty that moved it up. So since the penalty was on the offense, they repeated the down. I mean, I guess if it was against the defense, they would too. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's 3rd and 3. Timberline, like you mentioned, Ryan, they got to score here. They have to score. Rovig, he's going to go down the sideline, incomplete. He was looking for number 80 over there, Jaden Doss. Jaden was covered pretty tightly.
Rovid, his lack of experience is showing a little bit right now. I mean, that was the right read, wrong ball, right? He had man-to-man coverage on the outside. He threw it on a line drive, didn't give his guy a chance to catch the ball or run under it. That's just a young quarterback right now. And it's tough to continue to say that over and over, but that's the truth. And they're going for it on 4th down.
So 4th and 3. See if they can get him to jump, and they got him again.
False start. Right guard jumped.
Oh, you're right. I thought maybe the line moved, but the line did move just
because of.
Just the other line, right? Good call there. And you're right on that last play. That throw was a bullet, and that was one where Doss wanted to go up and over the receiver, but when you throw it at the gut of the defender, he doesn't
have a chance.
I mean, Randy Moss can moss people enough, but it would be an extra. You'd have to go up and over and down to have gotten that one. So a 4th and 3, now a 4th and 8. Rovig in the shotgun, drifting back, goes left side, and it's incomplete. It hit Brown in the hands. He was going to get knocked down short anyway, I believe. Even if he catches it, he would have to fight through 2 different Brave defenders for the first down. Again, the route was short. It's 4th and 8, and you throw a 5-yard route. That's not how you pick up a first down.
Yeah, and they're going to have to go back to the drawing board with that and tell the receivers you've got to, or tell the quarterback, don't throw anything below this. Don't throw anything before this. You've got to continue to throw that deep ball and get it past first down yardage. And if you're the receivers, you've got to start creating more space for Timberline. Give your sophomore quarterback a chance to throw the ball into some open space, because he's not going to get there. He's not going to be able to throw. He's not going to have confidence to throw it if there's no space. But you got to run those routes deeper.
So first down for Boise, 8:41 on the clock. Smith rolls left, and he gets around the edge. He'll stay on his feet, dance forward, and he picks up about 7 yards. Good run. Looked like he might not get much at all, but he's all the way down to the 48-yard line. Smith been able to, like you said, he's not Mike Vick out there that's looking to run and is going to outrace anybody, but he's just athletic enough to make a move to get around the edge and pick up good yardage.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. You can tell he has good feel for the game. He has a good feel for the defenders and spatially getting around them, and it's just, he'll take just enough sidestep to get around the outstretched hands, and then he'll turn the corner.
So 2nd and 3. The only thing bad about that play, if you're a Boise fan, is he went out of bounds. They would have loved to keep that clock running, but 2nd and 3. High snap. Smith brings it down. Looking around, gets Klein on a screen pass on the right side. Klein moving forward, and he's just across the marker down to the other 48-yard line. So a gain of 4 and a first down for the Brave, and the clock continues to run.
Yeah, that was a sloppy screen, but it was effective. But the snap being high, and he barely fielded that. Then he turned around and threw kind of the pump fake to the opposite side of the field. And then he threw it back to his guy, but it was a bobble the whole time to get it in the hands of his receiver. But good play and way to finish it. And I said it before, they're finishing the plays forward, which led to the first down on this play. When they're getting tackled, the Boise players are moving forward.
Yeah, definitely not a pretty play, but it got 4 yards when you needed 3, and that's all that counts. 1st and 10, just under 8 to go. Smith outside. He was looking for his receiver, Braden Rhodes, but Rhodes got a little tangled up with the defender, and the pass was low. That stops the clock at 7:55, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't thrown a lot of balls downfield. Hasn't needed to this half, and things came up short. But, you question, do they really want to stop the clock? He should have just tucked and run on that one.
Yeah, that's my thought. I'm surprised to see Boise throw the ball at all here. Unless it's a short little screen, they just want to keep the clock running. I mean, every first down, if you look at it, There's under 8 minutes to go. You can get a first down and keep it on the ground. That's another minute and a half, 2 minutes that you can burn off the clock. 4 first downs, and you're effectively into the game. Smith keeps this one up the middle. Good run, and he's all the way up to the 40. So it's going to be third, or they're going to say he went down to the 39. So it'll be third and about 3 yards. An effective play, the clock runs, and third and manageable.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to get into your quarterback's hands. The less exchange, the better.
Right.
Less chance of something going wrong, the ball hitting the turf. So you snap it to the quarterback, keep it in his hands, let him put his head down, get some yards, control the ball.
So Boise in the huddle right now. 7:15 on the clock. 2 receivers up, 2 down low. 1 back to the right of of Smith, and he sends him out. And Smith's going to keep it up the middle. He's got the first down, and he slides at the 30-yard line. And he gives the emphatic first down signal.
Headsy play. That was a heads-up play. Made us read it was a tuck and run. I think it was a designed run anyway, and then when he got up there, just slide.
Wow.
Don't worry about a hit. Don't do anything. Just take the slide.
Exactly. You got the first down. That's all that matters. They're going to say he started his slide at the 33.
Wow.
I thought he was closer to the – he was – the 31 is where he was down. They must have deep reached into his mind and said, this is where you begun it. You thought about it at the 33. We're going to place it there. I don't think Boise cares. It's a first down either way. We're at the 6:30 mark now. Smith will keep it again. He rolls right. He's going to keep it himself. And does he go out? He does. And you can pick up yards if you want, but you do not want to go out of bounds. So Smith really doing it all on this possession. I think if I'm Timberline and I see him back to pass, I just say, you know what, I'll let you throw it, but I think you're going to run it. I just can't imagine Boise taking that shot deep right now, but maybe that's what Timberline's thinking, and Boise's waiting for it to put that final nail in the coffin.
And for Boise, this is a different look. Last year they had Anderson, a little bit bigger, a lot bigger kid. A little less mobile. With Smith, you get a guy who can kind of control the game with his feet a little bit more, too. And you can see that as he continues to pick up first downs. He'll take the dive when he needs to, whatever ends up happening. But he is controlling the game and the tempo of the game with his feet also.
They stopped the play, but restarting it now. Bobbled handoff. Running up the middle is Klein. A lot of room to run, and he's across the 20 down to the 19. That's a first down for the Brave. Inside the red zone, 6:15, and the clock is running. Boise's got to be feeling good right now.
Much improved Boise football team this year. Compared to last year and the year before, this is much improved. I'm impressed with the coaching staff, what they're putting together, and they're calling a great game to this point.
No, they look good. It hasn't been, and you mentioned it, that none of their scores came on fluke plays. It wasn't like Timberline snapped it over their heads and it went out the back of the end zone, or a wildly terrible interception. The turnovers have come because they forced them. They have played their hand perfectly, and they are in position to get away with a win. Smith, the little jump pass on the left side, gets it over to Allen, and Allen picks up about a yard. Keeps the clock running, under 5.5 to go.
Yeah, a little awkward play there, but that was okay. They maintained possession. And the thing that I like, too, is that was a forward pass. If he would have dropped that, it would have been an incomplete pass. No harm, no foul. Of course, you want to keep the clock running. We're down to 5:15. This has been what are we coming up? We're coming up on 2 hours.
2 hours since kickoff, but that includes, a halftime break, quarter breaks. This is a quick-moving game. Both teams have kept the ground game going most of the morning. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's been interesting. It's been fun to watch the evolution of Boise football right now.
So they're taking their time, waiting for the back judge to put up his hand, which he is. 3, 2, 1. There's the snap. Smith going to the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. And guess who? His third of the day, Joseph Curtis with another touchdown, this time an 18-yard grab in the back of the end zone. And Boise really has put that final nail in the coffin here.
Wow, Smith threw it to where he wanted his receiver to be, and pardon me, doggone it. Joseph Curtis curled around his defender, came back to the ball and cut right in front of the defender for the touchdown. The defender thought he had the interception, but Curtis cut in front of him at the very end, and Smith threw it right on a dime. He had one receiver en route. One receiver.
And just what a phenomenal play. And Boise 26-0. If you had that before this one started, let's take a trip to Vegas sometime. Here comes the extra point. It's on the way, and it looks good, and it is good. 27-0. Boise on top. Boise making a statement around the 5A SIC right now saying, hey, guys, we're here. Don't forget about us. We're ready to go. And this is a much improved Boise team. This is not a bad Timberline team. This is a Timberline team, good last year, good the year before, has been good the last couple of years. I know they had some rough years in the past, but I tell you what, this Boise team, how far have they come from where they were 2 or 3 years ago?
Absolutely. They've taken a huge strides in terms of putting together a good program. And you gotta love it, too. This is a crosstown rivalry. You know, the border to go to one school starts and then the other one stops. I mean, it is nuts. And so these guys are playing against kids that they probably know. This crosstown rivalry. I mean, they share the same home stadium, quote-unquote home stadium. So it's got to feel really good for Boise at this point to be putting those points on the board like this. And to put up a stout defense. I think that's probably where they suffered more last year was in terms on the defensive side of the ball and schematically, but also, you know, just a lot of effort on the defensive side. And all the guys are running to the ball. They are flocking to the ball, and they're making tackles, and they're gang tackling people, not letting them get excessive yards or extra yards after contact.
So Boise will kick it away. Just very impressed from what we've seen from Boise today. It's good to see them like this. It's good to see it. You know, I mentioned Parma being in a rough spot right now. Anytime these programs that have struggled get back on top and get back to their ways, it's always a joy to see. Kickoff is deep. It'll be taken at the goal line. Slavin takes it at the goal line. He's up across the 20 down to the 22. So Timberline will have 78 yards to go to get something on the board. 4:34 to go in this one. Again, thanks for joining us for Treasure Valley Game Day here on IdahoSports.com, presented by Mountain West Bank. And thanks to the sponsors, Toyota, as well as Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, as well as Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores. Be sure to support the businesses that support Idaho sports and bringing high school coverage to you, the listener, the viewer at home for free. Rovig still in at quarterback. He's going to go deep down the sideline. What a catch. What an adjustment. They've been waiting for that all day long as Caden Jones goes up and makes a phenomenal grab on the sideline.
Yeah, and that was the ball he should have thrown the last drive to get it to him. He did put it on a rope that time, but he put it low enough and then again at the same time high enough for his receiver to go up over the top and make the grab.
You know, you make a mistake once, sometimes that's the best teacher you have. Probably learned from that mistake, comes back out, changes it, and gets a big throw down the sideline, down to the 45. Rovig back to throw again across the middle, and he gets Reese right at the 50, spinning around and finally brought down. So a gain of 5, and Timberline will hurry up to the line as we are at the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, and they're showing the urgency now. Sometimes you ask, why didn't they do this earlier? But the truth is the defense is giving him these types of underneath routes to burn the clock.
Defense says, I'll give you that all day. I'll let you get 5 yards and wrap you up and eat up another 30 seconds. 2nd and 5. Again, ball right on the opposite side of midfield, they'll say. Rovig to throw across the middle again to Reese once again. And he's down inside the 35, down to the 34. So almost the same exact play right there, just picks up more yardage.
And that's good crossing routes. Again, the defense is protecting the sidelines and protecting deep. The middle of the field is going to be open. And if you're okay with that, with 3:28 left, down 27-0, you'll keep throwing it. Looks good on scoreboard, or looks good on paper for yards. Not producing the points they need, though.
3:15 to go. Is it too little, too late, though, for Timberline? Rovig, he's going to go deep. Got a man in the middle of the field wide open, just can't hit him. I mean, a foot in front of the receiver, and he's in for 6. That one falls incomplete. 3:06 to go.
I like that he threw that ball. I really do. That was an impressive read. He saw his man. He threw it. He just didn't get enough underneath it. And if he would have put a little more air on it, allowed his man to run under it, that's a touchdown. And that's what they could have been looking at all night because, again, Boise's been playing a man. They haven't rotated the safety over. The safety hasn't come over in time. That play has been open. They just have not been able to connect on it.
2nd and 10. Ball still there at the 34. Rovig waits for the shotgun snap. Looking to go deep. He's pressured in the backfield. Kind of has to just throw it away. And I tell you, the best play of the game right there, we're going to see number 8, Tanner Bishop. He was plowing out of bounds and almost ran a ball kid over and picks him up and carries him because he knew he was going to level him out there. Carries him for a little bit, saves the young man from being plowed over by the big 6'2" tight end.
Yeah, a big smile on my face and hopefully on his face too because that was a good thing. Made sure the kid was taken care of because that's what really matters.
3:01 to go, 3rd down. Rovig under pressure, gets away from it, looking for that 1st down. He scoots out of bounds. He's going to be a yard or 2 short. He got out of bounds, but didn't pick up the 1st, so it's going to be 4th and about 2. That's a tough call. I don't know what you decide to do there. I'm glad I'm not the quarterback and have to make the call. Do you attempt to make a move and get the 1st down? The thing is that the clock stops if you pick up that 1st down, but he stops the clock, but they're going to have to do one more play.
Yeah, and hopefully convert on the 1st down because if not,
it's essentially over. So here we go, 4th and 1, and the high snap brought in by Rovig under pressure, and he throws it to nobody. So the decision to go out of bounds on 3rd down brings up a 4th. Kind of flips on its end as the pass is incomplete. I'm not sure who he was looking for. Nobody was there, and that should just about do it. A 1st down here will end the game for Boise, and they'll get out of here with a win, barring a monumental collapse. Imagine you'll see him keep it on the ground and hopefully pick up a 1st down, and that'll do it.
And I'm not the coach, and I'm not spending hours and hours and hours with these kids. It's easy for us, and it's easy for me to sit here from the sideline and say, should have done this, should have done that. In my opinion, over the hundreds of hours and thousands of hours that I've watched or broadcast football, one of the critical elements that's missing these days from high school football is the ability to be under center. Because you're instantly taking a snap from about 4 yards back. You're off that far from the 1st down mark, which now you're 5 yards back, but nobody knows how to get under center anymore. And it shows up there because why not a quarterback sneak? Quarterback sneak, there's a 1st down.
Yeah, just plow that thing forward, get in an I formation, have that fullback come up and blast through the line. You know, it shouldn't be this hard to pick up a yard, but it seems like it has been. At Middleton last night when they needed a yard, they ran a wildcat and had a running back 5 yards behind the line take a direct snap. He had to run 5 yards. He had to run 6 yards to get one. Let's get up under center and plow forward. It's interesting, like you said, to see how that dynamic has changed a little bit over the years.
And Meridian is actually one of those teams that took 80 to 90% of their snaps from under center. And the reason they did it is because they've shifted their personnel. And what you're seeing, too, is teams don't defend that. They defend in space anymore. It's basketball on turf, right? Basketball on grass. And now you see the shift. You see the Patriots did it years ago. They're starting to do it again. The 2 tight end sets, multiple backs coming out of the backfield, 2 tight ends, 1 receiver, and they're starting to run people over. But they're under center. If they needed a yard, they could have got it.
And you see it here, a shotgun snap with 2 minutes to go when you're winning a game, and you almost fumbled it right there as the ball pitched around to 3 different players. Ball hangs in the air in the backfield, and you go out of bounds. That's when, do you just line up in the eye and hand it off as this goes out of bounds, stops the clock? That's just about the worst thing you could do besides a turnover if you're Timberline.
Yeah.
Or if you're Boise.
If you're Boise, absolutely. Again, a lost art of taking a snap from under center. And there's a reason why back in the day, Oklahoma, Nebraska, everybody took it from under center. You're closer to the line of scrimmage. They call it 3 yards in a cloud of dust, right? You get 3 yards, and if you do that 4 times, that's 12.
And a different quarterback in for Boise right now. Looks like number that 15, Paul Zaragoza? And they throw a pass. I don't understand. I don't know.
They're probably convinced they're going to win the game and trying to get the young kid some experience. But that being said, gamesmanship-wise, just take the snap. But, hey, again, this is a heated rivalry across town. You want to do the best you can and get your kids some live action. So I understand.
So we got 2 plays that have taken about 8 seconds of game time here in what I thought would be just a run-it-out type situation. But, again, in the shotgun, like we mentioned, different quarterback in there. Zaragoza in there. High snap. And the fumble. Ball is down. Boise picks it up. And they are way back in the backfield, all the way back to the 5-yard line. A 20-yard loss on that play. And Timberline's going to take a timeout. So 3 plays took up about 20 seconds.
Best case scenario for Timberline.
Oh,
absolute
by
best
far.
Case scenario.
The
only better case scenario would be is if they would have completely fumbled then at the 5-yard line. But at this point,
a run out of bounds, an incomplete pass, and a 20-yard loss.
I'm in.
Yeah, we'll
sign
take
me up
it.
for that.
What I thought Boise would just kind of plow it forward and run out the clock. They decided to, like you said, get some different guys in there, and Timberline looks to be able to get the ball back. Boise's going to have to punt here.
And I think if you're Timberline, you just look to try to put something together. Continue on building what you have. Look, you've lost the game, okay? It's unfortunate, but you've lost the game. You got to regroup. But how do you do it? How can you put some guys together how can you put some plays together to maybe score some points just to finish the game and gain some momentum moving into your next game?
And it is hot. I mean, I see a cheerleader under the tent here getting attended to for the Heat. And, this is their varsity time as well. They're performing just like the football team is, and they have issues to deal with as well. And she's down there, and probably it's hot down there, out there cheering all day long in the hot sun. So here comes the punt. Good kick, line drive. Thing's going to hit at the 45, picked up at the 50, still on his feet, across the 45, up to the 40. So Timberline gets the ball back, 40 yards to go, 2:12 on the clock.
Again, get a score. Try to gain some momentum. Try some execution. If you can focus on the execution for this last drive, maybe put some points on the board, I think that you're going to be a better position for the next game and also this week of practice. Some positives to end on.
Yeah, you want to at least score some points. I think that's at this point in the game, get something positive out of it. And I don't know who's in there on defense right now for Boise. Looks like some different jersey numbers. So maybe a chance against the twos. Rovig goes deep. He was looking for Bishop, but just out of the reach, incomplete, 2:07 to go.
And again, that is the right read, Rovig. That is the absolute right read. They do not have a safety deep. It's man across the board. Your guy's going to get a step on him, just got to put it right where he can catch it. If he catches that, he's in the end zone. He's past his defender.
We've seen that multiple times from Timberline. They've been able to get a receiver back there, but just have not been able to get it to them.
That comes, again, youth, inexperience, and then also first game of the season, some of those jitters.
2nd and 10. Rovig, he'll pass to the left, and that one almost intercepted. That probably should have been by Elias Webb. Excuse me, that was actually Bobby Terenzio, Bobby. Almost with the pick for Boise.
He had Reese heading out towards the sideline. He made the wrong read, threw it to the man coming inside. Reese's man actually jumped. It was Reese's man who almost had that pick that was covering him.
So 3rd down, 2:04 on the clock. Rovig across the middle to Reese, and that one knocked out of his hands. Incomplete, brings up 4th down.
I think that was pretty indicative of the day for Timberline. Run the route, throw the ball, get it knocked down.
and that time it was Elias Webb. Webb just jumps in. Perfectly timed contact. As soon as the ball gets to Reese, he knocks it away and makes contact with the body, knocks it incomplete.
Boise's had a very clean game. Not a lot of penalties, no turnovers. They've done a very good job of taking care of the ball. And then also, headiness, couple personal foul, couple offsetting personal fouls. But other than that, not a lot of holding. I guess they did have one face mask.
But overall, just not a bad game for either team. That one is incomplete going downfield. Once again, just underthrew his receiver, and it'll go back 4 and out for Timberline. So Boise will take back over. We'll see what the Braves decide to do. 1:53. So both teams had a possession that lasted less than, 45 seconds. I think it was at the 2:30 mark that Boise took over, and in 37 seconds, both teams have managed to put up 7 plays.
Yeah, somebody take a knee.
Yeah, I think it's hot. It's over. I'd hate to see somebody get hurt in this time, but at the same time, it's a great chance, like you mentioned, for the younger guys to get some playing experience, but I would just hate to see something happen right here.
Yeah, and then you always run into the problem of, errant snap or something like that going wrong again. At this point, maybe just snap it to the quarterback, take a knee.
So, again, still back in there, Zaragoza. And he throws a pass, and it's incomplete.
Well, stops the clock.
I'm just at a loss right now. Clearly, they're playing to get players varsity experience right now in a game that they've got in the bag. But football-wise, in my mind, it just doesn't make much sense.
So let's talk about big picture real quick, though. I mean, I see Boise do this. I don't think that they're still at the same level as the Rockies and the Meridians or whatever. But I see this, and all of a sudden they start changing things. I mean, the perspective changes for Boise football in the SIC. I think that they now can compete. You talked about who gets to go to the playoffs, but as far as districts are concerned, I think Boise, this changes my perspective of Boise high school football.
Oh, definitely. And, like we mentioned, you don't have to play for that top spot every time. If you can finish middle of the pack, you have a decent shot. Based on those max prep rankings, there are at-large bids up for grabs in the conference. It's not all completely predetermined, as this one is a handoff up the middle. So that'll keep the clock running. So max preps came into play last year. So some of the at-large bigs go to any conference just based on who is at the top or next in line with max preps. And you saw Bora get in because of that. A lot of people thought maybe a post-fall should have earned that spot, but it went to Bora. So, there is still a chance, outside opportunity to make the playoffs, even if you come in 5th, 6th in the conference, just based on what happens around the state, who you've played, and how well you've performed.
And Utah shifted a little bit to that. Utah uses an RPI ranking now, and every team has a chance to play. It doesn't matter who you play. For example, a 3A team beat a 5A team last night, and that helps their RPI, but they may lose to 2 3A teams, and I think that's where Idaho's heading. I think the RPI system is starting to prove very beneficial. Another example of this is in Utah, really good conference, produced Zach Wilson for plays for New York Jets and a bunch of other players. But that conference had the 4 semifinalists from the same region, is what they call them down there.
Right. And I believe that the system worked this year. It seeded state basketball. It seeded state football. And I think it worked generally pretty good when we got to semifinal times. We usually saw the top 4. And the problem here, here's the punt going away. It goes out of bounds around the 45-yard line. But in the past, sometimes we would see a pre-seeded bracket, and you might have the one from the north playing the one from the south in the quarterfinals just based on the way the bracket's set up. And those are the 2 best teams in the state. And you'd have a quarterfinal be 1 versus 2. But that's not the case now. We saw the top 4 typically in those rankings meeting in the semifinals. I think one number 5 showed up, and I think it was at the 1A D1 level, and it was Lapway that ended up defeating Prairie, who I think was 4. And so Lapway ended up playing Raft River as a 5. But other than that, it was 1 through 4 across the board, which is what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. And so if you can do that on the football level, where you have everybody coming in from different angles, right? So think of the Final Four brackets. Everybody gets to come in and has a chance. The top 4 teams can win it to get to the semifinals. And I think that we're heading in that direction. And here's the other thing, too. especially as Idaho continues to grow and more schools are continuing to be built. Owyhee, I think there are probably one or two other planned in the near future, specifically Eastern Idaho and then here in Western Idaho. I think you'll start seeing more and more of that with the more schools at play. And the quality of football is getting better.
I made this comment last night. Has it been better here in Idaho where we have so many D1 commits at different schools, just all across the board, as this might be the final play of the game. Rovig goes deep, and he finally gets that crossing route over the middle, or that deep route. He catches Reese down at the 23-yard line, but it might be too late. 3 seconds left on the clock, and we'll see if they burn their timeout here. I don't know if they've got one left. They do use it. So this will be the final play of the game, see if Timberline can get something on the board. But they've been going to that all day long and haven't been able to connect, and they finally do with 3 seconds to go.
Logan, that was exactly right. I mean, that was the play. Running the seam, you had the guy, no over-the-top help, and you had him, and he threw it right onto the inside, but on right in step with him. He was able to connect on that. That's been open all day again. Young quarterback, lack of experience in first game of the season. We'll credit it all to that.
So we go back to our conversation about football in Idaho. I think it might be the best it has ever been. I mean, you look last year, Colson Loveland at Gooding. He commits to Michigan. He's now a Wolverine. You look right now around the state, you've got Gatlin Bear over in Burley, and he's got big-time offers at the D1 level. You've got C.J. Jacobson over at Rocky Mountain. He has offers to Utah, BYU, Louisville, NC State. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the best choice, but I think it's the best choice.
Whoa. Pump the brakes there, amigo.
I grew up a massive NC State fan, season tickets my whole childhood. So
really? Were you severely disappointed your whole life?
Yeah, it's been a rough life watching my friends celebrate their championships every year. So here we go. Last play of the game, and Dahlberg again for the throw, and it falls incomplete, and that will do it. So Boise comes away with a big 27-0 victory over Timberline. We're going to take a quick, about 30-second break and be right back to announce our IdahoSports.com player of the game. We'll be right back.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, all that's left to do after Boise defeats Timberline is announce our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And after much discussion, it had to go to the quarterback, Cooper Smith, today.
Yeah, Cooper Smith, the 5'10 junior, comes out and he plays really well. And some of the things that impressed me, he had 4 touchdown passes, and we talked about it before. They were not fluke touchdown passes. He threw in rhythm, in stride. He hit his man on target, and he threw right where the balls needed to be. So he had a 9-yard, a 20-yard, a 37-yard, and that was to close the first half, and the 18-yard. But more impressive was the way that he controlled the flow of the game with his feet. He avoided the pass rush, and he was able to make positive plays all over the field.
So, great opening week, week 0, they say, here in Idaho for football season. We are underway. It's good to have football back. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank, also in partnership with your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, as well as Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores. Again, thanks to everybody here at Donald Larson Park for helping us get set up and ready to go, and everybody behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com. Again, congratulations to our player of the game, Cooper Smith from Boise, as the Brave defeat Timberline 27-0. I'm Logan Green alongside Ryan Luke, and that's all for this week. Be sure to check back to the broadcast schedule for what we've got going on next week, and we will see you then.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com is strictly prohibited.